Those with a white mark live with the bond of the walker, the symbol of divination. These people are defined by a single dominant trait of lightheartedness or overpowering faith, structure, or a desire to work harder than any other. But they can also be defined by being easily lost to the sway of others. Prone to naivete, they get lost easily and driven away from what they might deem their most important features. Due to the white bond being attributed to faith and hard work, they are seen as good, honest people in their bias, though they could simply be as a structured maniac or faithful to the cause of destruction. Welcome, travelers, to the Dragonleaf, the tea house where tales are told. I told you the other day that we sell tea, but we don't. We don't sell tea here. We've been playing games with you. We lie, and we deal in whatever we can. But really, in the end, we just want those good leaves. We're liars. We've lied to you. Keep that in mind. If you like the content, leave a like in the tip jar and subscribe to our weekly tales. Leave a comment in the suggestion box to tell us how well we did or how well we did not. Thank you for listening. And without further ado, I'm so sorry. It's time to open up shop. Hey, there's everyone.
Hi!
What do you mean we don't sell tea?
I lied. See here, look.
I claimed all those tea sales on my taxes this year.
Oh no! Once we get that merch store off the ground, though. Just kidding. There's no merch store coming in plans, or we don't have plans to.
Pile the lies. Just keep them coming. What else we got?
You can't tell.
I will say though, if anyone is a real tea connoisseur and if they want to make a tea blend that matches our characters, I will drink it.
Ooh,
And
holy
not
shit!
Like it.
Incredibly specific.
Cool as hell.
I feel like
time black
JoJo's tea is going to end up like punching you in the face.
It's just a shit mix, right?
I do like a good double spiced chai, which is a good face punch tea.
What if it comes with 6 vials that are not opaque, so you can't see what's in them, and you have to roll a d6 to determine what you add to the tea?
Ooh. You get one of those
Hot.
rooibos teas, and you have to add like a ton of milk. It's
I
just
feel
like,
like-
well,
Every time I go to like a bar where you like roll, like like the
D20.
Stormcrow, yeah, and you roll a d20 to get like a shot. I always roll the mint ones, and I'm like, I can't. It's poison.
you have to. The god of fate has deemed you die. Last time, the deviants did heated battle against the knight later revealed to be the Enthian knight errant, the Moonlight Blade. Afterwards, discovering a haven in this moonlit church on the 3rd floor. And as the knight transforms into a statue of herself with 2 female dancers in a sullen embrace, they traverse the ash gate behind the grand manor, following the Golden Road. And they pass through to see a forested landscape of ash and gnarled trees devoid of color. Returning to the owl door, at the entrance to town, they discover a headless doll discarded into the bushes. And knowing now that their trick rope from Sealand was a fake, they manually traverse back to the 1st floor and descend the steps into the city once more, returning to Amaranth and the safety therein. Speaking with Sylvia and giving her all of the information on this mysterious assassin who had attempted an attack on them with Sealand's identity, the party prepares to leave the interface office. And that is where we will jump back in. Was there anything you guys wanted to do in the old eye office?
I need to go to the notice board, please.
No, please go ahead.
The one who stares might have left me a message.
So roll a fate dice.
Just a d20?
Indeed.
Oh, come on! Letter! No!
That's the number you didn't want.
Bigger number.
Your letter remains up. It has not been taken down. Does not seem as though it has been seen. Or if it has been ignored.
Well,
People do not understand the proper protocols when it comes to writing messages.
I mean, it's possible that they've been in the dungeon longer than we have. Maybe they just haven't gotten a chance to see it yet.
Maybe they were the assassin.
well, there's no point in jumping down that ship until we know for sure. Why don't we all head back home and have a word with Lavos about, And Vincent will look around. Did anyone seem to make any eye contact with Killian said assassin out loud?
Go ahead and roll perception.
Did Killian say assassin? I thought
No, Matilda did.
It was Matilda. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, Matilda. My bad.
all good.
I heard the word. $12.
So here's the thing, like, not even one person, like 7 or more. As soon as you say assassin, people are just like, like various different people, and like some clad in leather, some in just like half plate mail, some just sitting in the corner, kind of like twitching back and forth with a few pieces of like string that they're just messing between their fingers. All of which kind of begin to pay attention to the group upon the utterance of an assassin within the guild.
Yeah, we should get back. We'll talk about this later, I think.
And I don't see her. I've seen the girl, the one who stares, and she's not in here.
Roll perception.
Here. Rude human. Or human? I don't know if they're human.
They seemed human.
Okay. Oh, well, seemed.
I mean, that's all I can ever give you. I feel like as a DM, I'm often just like, oh, we're walking down the street, right? It looks like a street. But yeah, they seemed human. 21. You look around, you do not see the individual.
All right.
Could I have asked Sylvia if my mom was on a guild mission, like the trip that she said that she was going on? Was it a guild mission or was it a family mission not done through the guild? And whether she would know if she's done it yet.
I can look that up for you. Sylvia can peruse through her records to see whether or not this mission you were mentioning kind of matches anything that she has. In the meantime, Killian, was there anything you wanted to do during this while still at the interface office?
Nope.
Nope. All right. And Vincent?
No, just want to get back to rest.
As well. Sylvia says, there doesn't seem to be any official mention of a guild mission that is going to occupy the Mestra family for any period of time. It might be a family thing, or...
Yeah, I thought it might have been a Mistra thing, but okay. Thanks for checking.
No problem. Typically, these kinds of things can be officiated by the guild. If it's not, and they're using up a vast amount of resources, it must be something that is family specific, as opposed to asking for aid from any other family. And you guys prep to head out. Let me go ahead and shuffle around a little bit here.
Definitely renting a carriage. Vincent does not want to walk back.
Fast does a carriage go?
So fast.
It's a lot faster than going back.
I believe it actually, it gets you where you're going in half the time. But that's not even necessarily just the carriage moving at a blistering pace, but just that they know the pathways and they have areas that they can cut in order to make it the fastest and best way possible.
Gotcha. So if I were to follow them up on top of Bladebeak without paying a fare.
Lol. You have, that's for sure that could occur.
Okay.
But I think that's a fun little scene. Are you trying to do this stealthily?
No, Killian's just gonna like just run behind the carriage. Well, Bladebeak's gonna run behind the carriage. Killian's gonna sit on her butt.
You guys jump into the nearest carriage. In this moment, Vincent, you receive a message in your head. When you appear, you hail down the nearest cab, and as the windwalkers pull up, you see like this very lithe-looking individual with like a patchy beard. Human male, kind of like hair pulled back in a small windwalker, like it looks like a old London like paperboy cap, but it's just this kind of pale yellow blue. He's like, "Oh, you are, hello." You receive a message in your head. It says, "Spellagram for Vincent Goldwater."
Have I ever gotten one of these before?
You have never received anything like this before.
Okay. Vincent just remains calm, but kind of like looks around, just like ever so slightly.
The Lady Carmina Valentine requests your attention within the hold in the gates. Let me actually find this.
Do I know where that is?
It is not in the gates. In the Cobble Den on the western side of the city. within the Windwalker's company. To the south, you will find the Valentine Estate. And then the message just ends. You can reply. It is just a sending.
I don't think he replies. There's no need to speak with this. Well, I guess he needs to confirm. Yes, he will. He'll just respond with, what time of day is it? Is it the morning right now?
You guys waited basically a full day and then nighttime and then traveled for 3 days. You are in the early morning, yes.
Okay. I can come this afternoon. Is that okay?
After like 5 or 6 seconds, you see, spellogram for Vincent Goldwater. Absolutely. It's an accord. And then the message
See you
ends.
there.
Can you remind me what
Spellogram for Vincent
Carmina-
Goldwater. Sounds good. End communication.
What did Carmina Valentine look like again?
She's
Pink eyes.
strikingly beautiful, pink
Hot.
eyes, black hair. A very, very vivacious individual.
Yes.
Okay,
Why are you
cool.
laughing?
I'm laughing because of our other campaign.
Oh,
And you
I'm
all grab a
sorry,
carriage. You begin to
viewers.
traverse south. Killian, you have frugally saved the cost of the trip and traveling all the way to the south of the city.
oh, I get it, Candace. I get it.
It's my aunt.
Let's go straight down the old Dennery Way. It's incredibly sloppy pathing. That is 141 minutes. Halved to... Go ahead and see. The total cost is 5 silver, 3 copper. And then, yes, that halves it to a little less than an hour.
I'll get it.
Or a little over an hour. As you tear down the pathways, ended up just on the outskirts of the city. The roadways to the inside of Old Town still yet too damaged to traverse via carriage. You find your way through the rest of this fine forest and into the Old Town proper. When you guys arrive, you take note the exterior of the Old Town Manor, which was once covered in bramble and just all but destroyed in the just the facade. You know, it was really bringing down the real estate value. It has been cleared. The exterior has been cleaned. Actually, the stonework around the exterior of the manor has been buffed and cleaned to the point where there is barely any dirt on the dirt. And as you see, this just mad amount of bramble has been cleared off a large pile of just withered nature off to the side. Old Town's looking pretty spiffy. The rest of everything still destroyed as ever-loving shit. But the manor's looking pretty good.
Do we see a druid standing around somewhere?
Roll a fate dice.
Ooh.
Let's see.
16.
Ooh.
You don't see a druid standing around anywhere.
Aw.
Okay.
And that's the positive answer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we'll walk up to the house, go in, and Lavos, are you here?
Doorway closes upstairs, opens downstairs. Oh, you're home. I'm glad to see you. You're all safe. Come on in, yeah. I just grabbed a newspaper. We can all sit down and I can read the newspaper with a pipe. I got some boxes over here that I've set up as a makeshift sitting space. And soon, we'll get some furniture and such. It'll be good.
Matilda, Vincent will turn to you. What's the date again today?
It is. And then she opens her mouth and answers come out. Let me go ahead and move forward 1, 2, 3 days. It is the 45th of High Bloom.
Vincent reaches into his leathers and pulls out a book, flips to a page, snaps it shut and puts it back in. Good. We got quite a bit of supplies. And he'll nod towards Paka to go hand him the gold. Should help to furnish the place so we don't have to sit on those cardboard boxes much longer.
He just brings this large pile of gold down. And as Lavos opens it up, he's like, all right, that brings us to exactly 578 gold, 7 silver, and 1 copper. Now,
You're working
furnishings
hard.
would be about 350. Are we all in agreement that this is something we should be purchasing and bring us up to a comfortable, a modest?
As someone who's living here, you come here. Yeah, furniture would be
Yeah.
great.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is good. The first step.
I do
I've kinda
like the
taken a look-
boxes.
I do too. I was thinking I was actually just going to kind of move them aside, right?
You
and
can
just
stick
sit
them in your
upon
room,
them.
Matilda.
If you want some of my boxes, we'll have to work something out. These are fine boxes.
Well, they are upgraded to the knife couch, so
I don't know. It was like an interesting gamble every time, right? You sit down, you don't know what's going to be poking you next. It's fun. Which spot you're going to be in, right? I guess it's a god who doesn't really need to bleed. It seems a little bit different, right? Perspective.
Also, Ashbones are bothering us again.
Oh, that's exciting. All right, interesting. Tell
We
you
got
what,
some.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
I don't know what I have if you don't finish what you're asking me if I have.
Okay. Well, do you have food in the cold closet right now? I
Oh,
could whip up something while we talk.
I broke it up there. There was actually a little bit of food in there. I managed to get that door open. Still haven't touched the second floor. There's that locked room. I didn't want to mess with that yet until I knew a little bit more. But here, the kitchen's pretty clean too, so feel free, have at it. Sounds great. I'll help you out once I get in there in a little bit. In the meantime, who's first? Are you getting some tingles, are you?
Are we able to, or is there like a rank block?
Yeah, so you guys are right up at the point where a lot of people kind of just end up stuck here for the rest of their lives, right? You got to get a little bit of worldly experience. But in my experience, of what I've seen of you lot,
We're quite worldly, I would say.
you're quite worldly. You've seen quite a few things. There's no guarantee you'll be able to break your rank and move up to level 5 right away. But whatever happens, I'll get a little bit of an idea of what it is you might require to move forward. If that makes sense.
Are they going to relate to what you saw last time about us being in like some cul-de-sac and people watching us and laughing while we're getting punched and there was like blood around us?
I don't know.
I don't remember that at all.
Right.
When did that happen?
Oh, that
It's. I don't think it's actually. I think he was seeing us fighting the abominations, but
When information of something that's happened to you comes to me, it's still also very cryptic. But as a god of
Yeah.
dreams, I'm pretty good with cryptic.
I'm pretty sure that fight was the one we had when we went into Masks District, because the people
Oh.
were watching us and laughing and cheering while we got fucked up by those weird things with jars.
You still have one of those, right?
Yes.
Matilda, why don't you go
Well,
first? I'm
no.
interested to see.
I have a vial of blood, not one of the jars.
You
You
can't
also got
very well
the
pickle
vial
much of
from,
anything with a vial, can you? A big difference.
Well, you did grab the last vial that was on the ground, Matilda. The one that was the abominations of source we're
Oh,
trying to get
yeah.
to.
Yes, I have that. I don't have my inventory open. But I do believe I have that. Okay, cool. I can go first. That works for me.
He nods.
Vincent will take his violin from his back and like pluck a couple strings, and like a whoosh will come, but nothing happens. And you hear like movement from the kitchen as his unseen servant starts to like make stuff for us.
Alrighty, I give Lavos my hands.
Take my hands. Most excellent. Here we are. Roll Arcana.
Can I guide myself?
Yes.
Okay. 1d4. Normal. Yes, very good roll. A 10.
Okay. There is a flash of something in front of your face. There's a faint sting, just a tiny little bit of a cold that pours around you as the ash begins to swell and sway, moving about you and moving in almost in like a reverent way, as though to just gently request access into your bond. The ash pulls around you. The world grows that little bit colder, and as everything becomes silent, something appears in front of your eyes, but you can't understand it. You cannot fathom the shape of it. It does not seem to be of this dimension of a mind that you could understand. And as Lavos pulls his hands away and kind of takes a breath, says, "All right. I saw people, quite a few of them. It was dark. There was a lot of bodies. There's a lot here that I think I'm going to need to unpack.
Oh.
This might take a little bit of time. I don't want to worry you too much. Your book seems to have quite a bit of interest in what's going on here.
Mm.
And there's someone else. A dark figure. Some kind of a mentor or someone who's meant to guide you. Someone whose trust will not be easily earned, no matter how it might seem." He kind of begins to back up, and you can see him deep in thought. "Sorry if these things are cryptic right away. It doesn't seem like there's a blockage for you. It doesn't seem like we can jump forward into it quite yet. But something's going to happen and soon, I think."
Okay.
Well, we'll be there, Matilda, if you need us. Just give us a ring when you want to delve into dark bodies with strange new men. Or it could be a woman, I guess. He did say a dark figure.
It seems like a pretty normal night for you, actually.
Yeah, the bodies are a bit confusing because that either could be like Sunday night or Okay.
Oh, and Lavos, before we continue, just in case it comes up, we do have a new friend, and he has our permission to tank sanctuary here. He'll look towards his shoulder.
"Oh, excellent." And then he sees you like look over at your own shoulder, and he like looks past you and he's like, who is he? And Spider comes.
Mo, reveal yourself, please.
Just inverts itself, and immediately you see the body of the spider just like pour out until eventually it just tears into this impish form. Lava's like, "I don't scare easily, fucker." He's like, "All right, fine." We get backs up and sits down
I
on your
wouldn't mess
shoulder.
with him.
Yeah, Mo's not that scary.
Do you have some kind of contract on this imp?
We do.
All right, it looks like a magical creation. You're not of the original generation, are you? It's like, "Oh, you seem to know quite a lot." It does seem that way, doesn't it? He just stares him down for a little while. Like, "All right, you're allowed to take solace if that's what my children have decided is the best way for you to get along. But I will be watching you pretty much all the time. I don't have anything else to do." Go on.
He's also contracted to someone in Umberlee's family. So to watch out for.
Interesting. I can look into that.
We have the name. His name is Sheldon Crom.
was a Schlader.
Oh. I wrote
Much
down
more-
shoulder
much-
for some reason.
Feels like much more of a bro name. Schlader.
Later.
Yeah,
Lavos takes
and
note.
he gives him like a brief description of him. Like a pudgy man.
All right, excellent. You see he like pulls out a little journal and begins to write in it. Just like scrapes along the outer edge of the paper, closes it, puts it back in his coat, fumbles it a little bit, and then just looks towards the imp, who lands on the ground, and he's, my name is Mo. Pleasure to meet you. We will see what happens from here on. He's like, what did I just say? Just fucking speak your mind, man. It's gonna be hard to be around you if you talk like this. And Mo just slowly begins to walk off into the background.
He's like that.
I
Get
don't
used to
trust him at all. Well, I trust you lot, so that's fine. I'll protect him with my life as though he's one of my own. I'll just make sure to kick his ass while I do it.
Well, it only applies when he's here. It's in gestures at the family home.
See motes of light appear above his head, and he's like, I can snipe him from a few miles away. If we ever need to, just make sure he flies up into the sky and I'll get him.
Does he say
Nature-
that loudly?
Oh yeah,
Can I
Mo's
look
right
over to
there.
see?
Mo's
Okay.
right there. Yeah. Just kind of over at the other edge of the doorway, and he's like, passes through the threshold.
Do you
all
need
right.
time to ponder Matilda's shit, or you good for another one?
Hey, give me all you got.
Okay. Jojo holds out her hand. Do you need the ash bond, or just anywhere?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
I need the bond.
Oh, okay.
It is our physical connection to each other. Of course, I need the bond. But Jojo, it's like saying, do we need to be friends to engage in these kind
No,
of
I meant you
course
need
we do.
to put your hand on my shoulder. Is my hand fine? Is what I
Oh,
meant.
well, fuck, no, your hand's fine. No, I
Oh,
need the
he-
shoulder. I need the
Okay, here you go. God.
shoulder. He leans back, places his hand upon your shoulder, and I need you. Actually, you do not roll anything. Your mind fills for a brief moment.
Oh, you rolled what my next class is, right? And I
I
don't
did.
know. Okay,
did.
great.
I think at this point you still might not know, but as
Hell yeah.
the ash begins to pour in kind of these wispy patterns within the air, you see them form images. Circles and lines, dots connecting, like star signs in the sky, that slowly begin to form themselves into individual patterns before resting on your body. And then you see one flash of a great stone wall encasing a cliffside. Your mind is carried away from you for a brief moment, and then you, with a gasp, return. Lavos pulls his hands away. The ash, you feel that slight sting, that little bit of cold. Something feels a little bit different, but that feeling fades quickly. And then, as Lavos pulls his hands away, he says, right, okay. I will say this, incongruency to what I had seen before. Seems like this does have something to do with your dear old mum. I'm going to be keeping an eye on... I'm going to put feelers out into the city, and I'm going to be watching the cafe and trying to keep an eye on her as best I can.
She's
I'm a little bit spread thin at the moment.
she's not in town right now.
I saw her in town in my mind.
Oh.
I don't know if that means it's the future or the past or what have you, but if she's not here now and you're certain of that,
Last I saw her, it was a month and a week ago, and she said she'd be gone for 2 months.
interesting.
And she's never early. Opposite of Alexi.
I don't know what that means, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I was gonna be like, you
Out
guys
of
haven't
character.
technically met Alexi in character.
No, out of character. Opposite of Alexi.
He,
So I still had JoJo's like vocal fry.
he thinks on this as well, and he says, all right, I don't know what this means, but typically you get a spike of something, right? Like a guidance. Right now I need to unpack what I've told you is not the only things I've seen. It just seems like right now is not the time for you.
Uh-huh.
We'll figure this out together.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
Vincent will lean off the wall. Killian, do you mind if I go?
No, go ahead.
He'll walk over as Jojo like goes past, and he'll just like get over to Lavos and be like, hopefully you're not too stretched thin. You can finish that thing I asked you about.
Of course. Well, in fact, you think I wouldn't? It's crazy. This is not to say too much, but I got this. You don't need to worry about a thing. And then, like a single small tear begins to well up in his eyes as he throws it away.
Okay,
get
I'll
over
be
here.
relying on you for that. And he'll like unbutton his shirt, his like leather, studded leather, and like open it up, so there's just like a V in front of his chest.
For some reason, I thought you got V tattooed into your chest to be like,
No,
that's
just
the
like
first
the
letter
shirt.
of my
He
name.
pulls it down, so there's like a
Yeah.
V in front of his chest.
You begin to hear tunes in your mind. These themes pour over you for a brief moment before they fade away. Abruptly, they leave your senses. And as the same kind of like rhythmic movement that you've seen of the ash just stops and almost begins to encroach upon your body, as though attempting to sneak into the peripheral of your mind. And as you look, it stops and begins to move away almost in fright, and the ash behind you grows closer. And everywhere you look, the ash continues to attempt to invade. And eventually, you begin to feel growth. Feel some energy begin to well up within you, but then a blockage. Both Lavos and Vincent slump forward for a brief moment.
Just both go like zombie.
Both zombify slightly. You see a figure sitting at a small table, very tall, in a fine wooden chair. A little teacup sat on this table, only big enough for one, and as they lift the teacup, the table grows ever so slightly. They spin the table, and you see a second teacup emerge from it, as though just hidden by perspective. And he waves you over for a brief moment.
Oh, so I'm like physically there. It's not like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, your senses have been removed, and you find yourself in this strange, just void, with an individual, a table, and a teacup.
He'll look around a bit, and then, not wanting to be rude, he'll walk forward. Is there like a chair next to him?
There is now.
He sits down.
I have been looking for you for quite some time. And now I have found you. I do not mean to hijack this vision, but there is little else I could do. I needed to see what you were made of. You seem to be all right. You've survived the initial boundary. You're here, and that is good. Do you know who I am?
I have ideas, but things always seem to surprise me.
Well then, that will have to be something you learn in time if you do not yet know my name. But in this moment, I am good to know you. I am glad to see you. And I am honor bound to be with you. So, tell me where you are.
Vincent just kind of thinks on that for a second. Can I insight check those words?
Rolls that.
17. I'm more specifically looking, is he, I don't think he means like literally, like me being like, I'm in a room with Walt. Like, is it more figurative than that?
No, it seems like he's asking you like where you are, not necessarily right now, because you are in a void of nothingness, but like where your current location is in the world.
Well, I could give you that information, but let's get to know each other a little more before I do. Don't quite trust you at the moment.
He smiles. He says, I'm indebted to your father. And as such, there is a history that I must fulfill. I offer you my aid in some ways.
Can I see if he's lying?
Roll insight. You can see that this individual's face, they look almost elvish as they stand. They're wearing a very finely tailored suit. Their hair pulled back very delicately, but they do not have, like, the ears don't sit right. Their eyes are just like dark gray, almost steel, and their skin incredibly just supple and soft, somewhat pale. Hands now covered, like just crossed over the lap with one leg over the other, and like fine black shoes that have been buffed to a polish. Your insight beat their roll by 1. They seem to be telling the truth and obscuring much. There's a lot that they are not currently telling you as to why or what or how, and you can see that they are actively being distant in their answers. What exactly were you attempting to intuit here?
Just to see that when he said like he's indebted to my father and all these, he's just trying to see if all of this is just
that
bullshit.
seemed to be true. We don't have very much time left.
Well, from what I can tell, you're not trying to pull one over me, but I like to get to know the people I work with before I agree to work with them.
He raises the glass and says, till next time then. He goes to take a sip as you reawaken within the room. Lavos, fucking hell. Okay.
Did you have a nice ride? Mine was pretty delightful.
Alright, people are going to try and kill you, but I feel like you already know that.
People are always trying to kill me, darling. People fear many things, but greatness is usually one of the top ones.
He stands up and moves over to the side and moves one of these wooden crates and pulls out like a small stack of papers and begins to look through them. Unbelievable, alright. You hear, allow us to aid you in this matter. As a voice bellows out from the corner of this of the room. You see 2 figures. A drow, standing at about 8.5 feet tall. Once again, wearing just kind of this just fine suit. Solid black and purple interlaced with various different colors, and like a purple half cape over one side. And another figure, standing wearing just a full body leather suit, with a mask that covers the face and pulls back into almost like this little jester's like nubbin at the back of the head.
Do we recognize these people?
Everybody roll religion.
Ooh, it's a god.
Pretty
That's
sure
what I'm
it's
thinking.
massive.
Lillian has never seen or heard of these people.
Vincent's just like, it could be a couple.
Mask and Bayron? I'm sorry, that's Candace.
Matilda's like, it's Mask and Bayron.
We scroll through your guys'. Vincent. No, that was previous. Killian. Vincent, you're unaware. Matilda says, that's Mask and Veyron.
Yeah.
And that is true. You've seen these two. You have heard of them. You have like Vincent and Killian. You guys are generally aware of like the gods that reside within the districts, and even before in moving through Mask's district, you had seen somewhat of like just pictures, like engraved on side walls of just crude drawings. But Matilda, you are fully aware through your study of the religious aspects of the city, and Jojo as well, that this is Mask, the god of shadows and deception.
Is it the drow or is it the other dude?
The one who is wearing the full body leather suit with the mask covering the face. The face itself covered like very tight to the mask, and you can almost see like these just faint bits of emotion underneath, like two drawn on eyes and then no mouth. And the drow who stands, arms crossed, kind of almost shrouded in the darkness of the corner itself, Veyron, who is a drow patron god.
No, we have guests. I'm looking over at Lavos. Does he seem perturbed that these people just walked into his home?
Lavos is confused and looks over towards the individuals, but he's still kind of poring over the notes. It takes him a few seconds to stand up and looks over in the corner, and he's like, "Oi, you fucking coming into my house now, are you?" And stands and begins to move over as you see like the light behind him almost begins to attempt to combat the darkness in the corner. And then Mask raises a hand. Just begins to gesture a few times in silence as Veyron says, "He says you should stop. Your movements are unnecessary. We are not here in any kind of aggression. I am the Masked Lord, Masked God of Night, the Shadow Lord, the Masked Mage. I am Veyron. If we wanted to fool you, trick you, or steal your territory, we would have. It is very simple. You are not exactly of means." He looks around, he's like, "I got 6 fucking boxes over here. I'm gonna pile them up on your corpses if you fuck around, even the slightest bit." He moves back and just looks over.
We may not be of means. You can still knock. That's the proper protocol when you enter through a door.
Jojo's gonna stand and seem non-threatening as possible when she does it. Like, she's not trying to start a fight, she's just ready for if one starts.
Matilda's just stating facts. She's there's no intimidation there, whatever. It's just rattling off social scripts.
Mask smiles and just like claps Veyron in the back with like a firm hand as Veyron jerks forward, and just you can see the frustration in his face. And Mask looks around and just points towards you, and he's like, "Yeah, that's exactly right." And then points back towards Veyron and is just like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" And then just strides in and just sits down on one of those boxes and begins to look around. It's just 2 big thumbs up, like, "Nice house." Veyron stops and just sidles back up, and with a modicum of respect, like fixes his suit. "We are here to help you. And let me just start out with the simplest of terms. We stand to gain. You stand to gain. So let's just move forward with that understanding in mind.
Enemy of my enemy.
Let's start out with saying potential friends.
Or family potential. What do you want?"
We have been paying attention to you ever since you have mentioned that a new god has arisen within Amaranth. It looks towards Lavos and says, "How much do you know? We must have this information." Lavos is like, "Joke's on you, I know very little."
That's very true.
Points like, "Thank you." Veyron listens in intently. Mask just nods. Veyron's like, "Very well. I just wish for you all to know that a lie is not something you could possibly pass by us. So, forthrightness is valued." Mask begins to yawn. Kind of like stretches out and just begins to...
You see like
flops back so his head and his feet are both touching the ground, and his back's on this wooden crate, just kind of cracking it periodically.
He sees like a tray with like teacups on it with tea in it, like float out of the kitchen and come over, and it'll want to pass by Masks. If he wishes to take one, he can.
Mask props up immediately as soon as he sees a floating teacup, and literally is just like, I want it. Reaches forward and grabs onto the teacup and tries to like examine the bottom to see whether or not. And then he looks over, his eyes, like the mask basically flares for a brief moment and just nods and shakes his head like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then just begins to put the tea to his mouth and just pours down over the mask. Veyron just ignores this every day.
Tea will
everyday
float by
normal
him as
occasions.
well.
He takes it. He reaches out, grabs it, takes a sip. Now, you have stricken the ire of the Umberly family. The concept of a new god within the city, not something exactly interesting. And you specifically, Vincent, Mr. Goldwater. You are a stepping stone. Your grandfather's company.
Sometimes.
No, not us. I'm afraid we stand at the top of the pile. Your grandfather's company. Valuable. Both to family and to an individual. And so you have been marked for death. And you do not get an assassination within this city without us finding out word of it. We know who it was that attempted your life within the dungeon. And we are impressed that you managed to survive it. The one in question. What would you pay for the information? Now let's realize that money is not the only currency of the world, as it were.
I don't know, they were real sloppy. They didn't finish the job.
Favors are a currency that go around.
So if I'm to get this understood, the person that followed us into the dungeon was simply after my death, and my family were just collateral damage.
Well, you are all under threat, but you were the target of this particular attempt.
Yeah, they didn't try nearly as hard enough.
Oh, I don't think they chose an individual who necessarily would have finished the job. The one that they decided to pick was one of more subterfuge than outright aggression, which may have been the better bet in this instance. And you can see they're basically like eyeing you guys up, trying to figure out the best way to kill you.
And Jojo smiles.
This entire time, Killian has just kind of been like trying to be as small as possible and like be either behind Jojo or behind Bladebeak, whichever one is like less visibility
Probably
from where they're standing.
I'd probably say Jojo in this instance. Go ahead and roll perception.
Well, I personally would like to keep my pretty little face attached to my neck, so I'm willing to work with you as long as the stipulations aren't outside the boundaries of what my family would agree with.
As I have said before, we both stand to gain. Killian, you like you're hiding behind Jojo and you kind of maintain this position, and then you kind of like creep your head over to the side for a brief moment, and you see Mask shrunk down to almost like a chibi version of himself, holding a tiny cup of tea as he looks over towards you, and just like this smile forms underneath the mask and just continues to pour liquid out, just standing there and just gives you 2 pats on the back like, it's gonna be okay, buddy, and then just looks around the other side of Jojo and continues watching Vincent and Veyron.
So, Veyron, is it? That's your name?
Indeed.
This is not an equivalent exchange. I feel that my family could easily find out the name of this assassin if we put our minds to it. I think that you stand to gain a lot more from this arrangement, especially with aligning yourself and possibly having favors from us, a new family of a new god, which we're understanding is a lot more of a bigger deal than we thought it was.
Oh, we don't even request a favor. What we request is something more.
Hmm.
We request to enter into an alliance with the Lavos family, so that we might aid each other when times come to be.
Can Vincent roll some sort of history check? He's the one who's been in this. He's the oldest, and he's been here before the city of formed. Mask is technically an evil god, I think, or is he neutral?
Go ahead and roll. With your previous religion check, I'm not sure that you would know.
Okay. Basically, what I'm after is, do the other gods in the city view them negatively? Like, is there more? Are they on like the shit list of the city?
Kind of. There's quite a few gods that are on a lot of shit lists. Mask being one of them for various different people. I don't know how much meta it would be because Matilda rolled enough that she would potentially know some of these things, but is not currently like running down this train of thought.
Yeah.
So that information can be gleaned, but perhaps post this discussion. Not to paint it any particular color.
I was running down that train of thought, if I may.
Absolutely. I'm totally fine with that then in this instance.
Okay.
Matilda, as you are recalling the stories that you've heard of Mask, Mask is on, first off, the shit list of Cyric, the god of, deception and lies, the god of treachery and murder. Previously, Cyric was, as the stories have told, the cause of the spell plague, when he had killed Mistra. Since, Cyric has seemingly changed his tune and has become a veritable shining example of society through when he took on Immortal Coil. Now, Mask caused Cyric's downfall a little bit. You don't recall too much of the story other than Mask seemed to interact with a specific book that Cyric did not seem to like, and the two have been immense enemies ever since. Now, even besides that, there is a lot of people who simply do not trust and would not be allied with the god of thieves and shadows. However, due to the nature of the underground being within Mask's control, he is also a very viable and valuable asset. Not to mention, a connection with a god of Drow would also get you guys a lot of ins within the Drow society of the city, which is virtually invisible.
Possible, yeah.
Impossible.
Okay.
Out of character question. Do we know, like, aside from Cyric, there's no other gods, I guess?
Oh, that specifically Mask has a problem with?
No, it's not. I don't need to know specifics. I just need to know, like, does most people in the city are like, fuck Mask's district? Like, even the common folk and stuff. Like, are they just like, don't go to the shady district? It's just people assassinating people there. Like,
common folk, no. Higher society would not hobnob there, but like you would be aware that the higher society people typically do engage in a lot of subterfuge, and that's literally like the blessing of this god.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but normal people live in Mask's district, but it is basically the underbelly of crime, and that is somewhat known.
Your reputation precede you. We
Mask's like,
yes. I also say that because we're a new family, we're blessed with anonymity, and the fact that we don't have a lot of the history and bonds that you already have, or the bad blood. So we have the option and the privilege of forging our own path. And I worry, if we enter into this deal, that we are going to be seen. I mean, I personally don't give a shit, but other people might give a shit that we are seen in a not so savory light, in the sense of if we were to try and work with other gods or other things that were more on the side of the light. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure the god of, shadows and stuff like that could keep this under wraps. If we
I don't think that's what they're going to do. The only reason why they want to, not these people in particular, but most people that are giving us attention, is because we're a new family with a new god. It's exciting and they want the clout.
Didn't they say that they don't need the clout?
Oh, everyone says that.
Can I'll wait till Venron, or out of character, I can't remember his name, will respond. I want an insight check. Does it seem like he's denying it or anything like that?
I will tell you this. What is the maximum you can roll on your insight?
27.
27? Okay. Go ahead and roll insight. As he is basically just watching this, he doesn't necessarily respond. He's just remaining standing with a straight face. Mask, on the other hand, is basically moving like,
I'm gonna use my
that's
brain.
true, could be that way. Like he's just kind of just blasting back and forth with these just
13.
no clue.
Yep.
You said you admire honesty, so I wanted to take you through my thought process.
I admire honesty, I just simply don't believe it exists. But obviously, we would not request something so bold. Be discussed immediately. However, we do wish to aid you in this. As I said, we both stand to gain.
What do
Then
you
he looks
gain-
back towards Mask. It's all three of us, I suppose.
What do you gain by keeping my little pretty head on my shoulders? Do you have some sort of vendetta against my grandfather?
He smiles and says, I think we both know it's more valuable to ask more questions than you answer. We will await your reply. He begins to back away into the corner in this like brooding fashion, and Mask's just like, oh, wait for me, just like rushes forward and just completely ruins the tone as the two of them just clash and collide. They begin to back away. Jojo, it seemed like you were trying to say something. There's probably time to get one sentence out as they're leaving.
Well, something for us to also ponder. We were attacked in Mass District, and some drow tried to assassinate my mom, so any insight on that and whether or not that might affect our answer?
Like do you want us to discuss this, or are you saying
I'm
this out
asking
of
them.
character?
As they reach the corner, they kind of just disappear into just this shadowy corner, and then Lavos, bringing this just pale light, begins to once again fill in the room as that shadow just creeps further and further into the corner and dissipates. What remains in the corner is a medallion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You intuit that this is somehow an answer to your question.
Yeah, I go pick it up. What's it look like?
You look at the medallion. It has a symbol carved into the side of it. The symbol is of a bladed sun being held up by a porcelain hand.
Bladed sun being held up by porcelain hand.
Is that a god symbol? Oh.
Everybody roll religion.
Really wish I was proficient in religion. It's one of the skills I was like, ugh. Yeah, 21. Oh no, that was Killian's. 9.
You can still be excited for the 21.
Great 21.
Killian and Matilda, both of you look upon this symbol and you recognize half of it. The sun itself, though a bastardization, seems like the top half of the symbol of the Altician faith, which is a like sun that is just in full blazing bloom with these almost scissor-like bent sun rays. However, the porcelain hand that is holding it up is completely foreign, and it makes this symbol something you don't recognize.
Is this, we saw these in the one shot, I'm pretty sure, but we don't as characters know that, but I'm pretty sure we saw this in the one shot.
Mm-hmm. You did. You, Tamara, I saw those in the one shot.
We did.
Okay. Well, I'll look over at Lavos. They're not still spying on us, are they?
Well, that I can see anywhere. But it's hard to, I imagine, we really should get this place protected.
I don't
going to be
really
hard
know
to keep
how
them
we're
out.
supposed to do that at this time, but
Okay, look, it's going to be just some gold, but I can handle that once we get the gold. I'll tell you what, Vincent, I think this is pretty pressing. I'm going to keep my eye on what this is, and if we want to take them up on their aid, though I don't know how I feel about all of it, right? I still feel like it's pretty valuable. but this decision is all of ours to make.
What did you see? You ran over to a stack of papers. And you didn't really say much about. Because I'm going to be honest with you. What I saw and what you saw are probably two very different things.
Saw a creature that what looked like a bull. And then I saw 2 of them, and 3 and 4. There were ropes attached to them, and at the end of those ropes were you.
Hmm.
Oh,
There
we'll
was
take it
more,
up.
but it's cryptic.
Oh, I'm sure I have a vivid imagination. I prefer to keep things attached, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The Umberley family is behind this. And we're gonna bring them fucking down.
I wouldn't say my grandfather likes me, but to recruit them seems a little odd. Did it feel like there was more something personal or something that they were hired to do?
It felt cold and distant. Didn't seem like it was a blaze of passion. That makes sense.
Well, it was about time.
Jojo's gonna kneel down. Hey, Killian, are you okay? You seem pretty shaken up.
Yeah, I'm. I just like it when people knock.
Yeah. They didn't
But I
follow
mean-
door protocol. It was so rude. I don't care if they're a god.
It's like Lavos continues looking through papers. It's like, I don't think they use the door. Just continues flipping through papers.
Well,
I don't
they
know if that
want to-
changes protocol.
Me?
Masks seem nice.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
them. I'm pretty sure Matilda's family has worked with masks quite a lot. Like, not the god, but like Mask's family. It just makes sense that they would have. So,
I can see that. You're especially close as well. You're like a 10-minute jaunt to the Masks
Yeah.
district.
yeah.
Well,
I've-
as much as I wouldn't want to ruin our reputation right out of the gate, it's going to
What
be a rare
reputation?
circumstance when a god literally asks for, our allegiances and our alignments with each other. So,
Yes.
Like,
So,
there are-
at, the,
Go ahead, sorry.
at the same time, I don't know. I think they stand to gain a lot more than we do. You told me that there needs to be an equivalent exchange, and I don't see that at all.
it's tricky though. Sometimes you have to invest in something and you're not sure if it's going to pay off.
I think it sounds smart if we agree to it.
But first, let's get the full hat trick. I don't know if that's the right term, and I think that just refers to when you do 4 things in a row. So, Killian.
No,
All right. Well,
it's 3, but anyway,
3?
go ahead,
All right.
Killian.
he writes that down.
Killian wanders over, pulls up her sleeve, and offers her arm.
He says, all right, let's go for the touchdown. Place his hands down on your back. I need you to roll insight.
Insight. Ooh, I'm not very
Sports,
good at that.
sports.
Boom.
Sports.
Ooh, hey, not bad.
16. You see a brief flash. You stand in front of a body. You look down upon it, and you feel an immediate sense of regret, as though there was more that you could have done. You can't help it, but you feel like you blame yourself. And as you look down upon this individual, a form begins to take shape, the form of a goblin. Resting, and the world around it begins to fill in. You see them bloated. You see them discolored, bruised, and this black liquid just resting in a small pool underneath the head. They're facing away. What do you do?
I walk around to be able to see their face.
You stare down at the face of a terrified but euphoric Killick. But then the face becomes that of Yaga, becomes that of Paka, becomes that of the kobolds who had enjoyed a brief moment of respite in that stack house. It becomes that of Krugek, the god of the bugbears. And as it shifts between these faces, your vision ends. And you find yourself once again within the home. As Lavos says, something is going on in this city. It's not as though I didn't know that. But I'm sorry, I need some time to think about all of this. Think about how to redistribute my resources to aid all of you in every way I can.
And of course.
Okay.
I saw 3 things for you, Killian. I saw a candle. I saw a snake. And I saw a vial. That's the most cryptic I've got so far, so I'm sorry. I'll be right on figuring this out as soon as I can.
Okay. Killian pulls out a notepad and writes those 3 things down.
Now, this has been a lot to think about, but in the meantime, I've got something I need you all to do tomorrow. A park in Ilmater's district. I need you all to meet me there, alright? It's of the utmost importance.
Yeah, for sure.
First family
time?
mission. Morning. Early morning.
Does this have something to do with Hercules or Ares? I think, aren't they both part of that district?
No. Hercules.
Oh, I'm thinking of,
Hercules is.
Chinese.
Mostly, you got Reshik and Ilmater in the wreck. Hercules is there. We're going to be well away from where that fucker lives.
Okay.
And Ares lives on the other side, just to the north of Merkel, in the Harvest Ward.
And then Dionysus is closer to the.
He's just
Amaranth
drunk all
Palace.
the time. He's
Oh,
just
okay,
drunk.
great.
He's not too much of a threat. He's an underhanded little bastard.
Okay, great. I was wondering, Ilmater's right in between 3 people that you've said are not your friends. So
Yeah, but to be honest, it's got to be one of the most neutral places in the city. I think it's the best location for this particular mission. All right, I'm going to go think about all of this. Is there anything you need me for before we break away?
I think we're good after this, at least I am. After the dungeon and, well, this news, I'd like a drink. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
should you be lying low?
No, dear. You can't contain this. So,
Oh shit, where are you getting a drink then?
if you want, you could come down to the Black Sheep. And he'll put his hand up. We do have in essence, the restaurant kind of sort downstairs, but there's no food available. It's simply just to chat. You can play games there and drink. It's more of like a hostess's club.
I do want to go with you. I also want to go check on the Lavender Cafe.
Well, we could hit it up on the way over. You can say hi to your papa.
Yeah, let's do that. What about you?
Do you mind if we do that later this evening, though? There is one thing I need to do. I got a message earlier, and I think I need to go down and see the Valentines.
Do you mind if I shadow you for today, or is it going to be a bother?
Vincent thinks on that. Does he think that JoJo would affect anything to do with the Valentines, or not really?
You do know, just for the nature of like the degree of high society that you're moving into, JoJo most certainly is not dressed the part. And
Go
a half orc,
go for
a
it.
half orc moving about the city typically draws a bit of ire, but whether or not that is in play within the Cobble Den, which is Shondacool, the god of transportation's district, is unknown.
I'm not saying you couldn't sneak your way around and follow me, but the areas I'm going into, I'm just going to be putting it bluntly, dear, not really your kind of thing.
Okay, well, would you rather me go and embarrass you, or I don't know, get assassinated?
Vincent thinks on things. If his,
Are you actually thinking about this? Come on, man.
and he'd like to contemplate on whether or not his grandfather is one to just assassinate him out of the blue, or if he's more one to make a show of it.
I think the way you know your grandfather is if he wanted someone dead, it's more likely that people would forget they existed and they wouldn't really, they might have gone to sea and never come back, kind of thing.
Yeah, so like, as long as he's around people, there's a good chance he's fine.
It's gonna, yeah, like even the person who previously had attempted to assassinate you tried to make it seem like they're just more victims of the dungeon.
How about this, Jojo? You can come along, but when I go inside of the Valentine family house, you might have to wait outside.
Would it be better if I came with you?
Do I think it would be better if Matilda came with me?
You don't know.
I feel like it's
from a
equal.
nature of being a human, it's just easy to go around anywhere in the city without drawing attention as a human.
That's what.
Is this how
Matilda
this is going to
means.
be? I can't do any business deals anymore without being chaperoned. I am an adult, people. I can take care of myself regardless if I have a hit out for me or not.
I only offered because it seems important to JoJo.
Well, it does warm my heart that you really wish to take care of me, but
Yeah, I think you can take care of yourself.
I think in this case, he's trying to think. Actually, we haven't used the sending stone today, right? It was last night before we rested that we used it.
Yeah.
Just give me one of the sending stones. If anything happens, I'll just shout down it or something.
JoJo, would you like to hold the sending stone?
I think Dad's got the other one, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, he should be able to get word to us, probably, right? So if you message him, he can get word to us.
For sure.
okay, here.
I'll take the sending stone. I shouldn't be gone too long. Just a quick thing in the afternoon. We'll be able to spend all evening together. Don't worry, dear. I know you missed me, but I'll be back soon.
Okay.
I guess what is actually funny to consider about all this is that Vincent is a tiefling, which is arguably more hated than a half-orc. As you take the sending stone and move out into the city, let's all roll Spotlight.
He did tell you the location he was going to be. He's going to be the Valentine family inside the Cobble district. So, like, if you wanted to shadow him, you could. He's just saying, like, you can't sit in the business room with him, is what he's basically insinuating.
Matilda 13. Killian 8, Vincent 8. Do you
roll
to who? Yeah, you can do some roll off if you
I
want.
always like leading up to random chance. Oh, one.
Do I go first?
Yeah.
Eh.
With a 13, you go first.
Shit.
So Vincent,
okay.
you ended up with a Uno. 13. I mean, on a D20 roll, 13 is above average. Nothing wrong with that. Matilda, we begin with you. As everyone begins their foray, we have morning, afternoon, and night. It is currently the morning. What do you do?
Matilda says, I'm going to go to talk about my book. I'm going to go visit Eldath district.
Oh.
Okay.
I need to go there. So just letting you all know where I'm going.
Maybe I'll come with you. If Vincent doesn't want to bring me with him.
That is acceptable to me.
The two of you travel through the city. Do good old jaunt walk?
How far is Eldath district?
Moving
Or
through the
Eldath.
confusing back city streets. Let me go ahead and actually pop that. I love the concept of a city completely like city planning
How far we have to
decided
go?
by a bunch of conflicting gods.
Can we
It's
just
about
hop
2
down
hour
that
walk.
waterfall? I'm just kidding.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. That's all I can say.
You want a carriage?
About 2 hours. Carriage would be an hour and 5 silver.
Yeah, I'll pay for a carriage.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Traversing down through the city streets, you make your way past Melora's home of Harmony's Wake and through until you reach the outer gates of Amaranth, where simply displaying your dog tags is enough to have the guards just pull back and allow you passage through. Making your way out, you find a incredibly large, just like free market that sits around this southern gate of Amaranth, and passing through the area, you find small tents and nomadic peoples who live in the outskirts in line with nature. Continuing through the forest, past the small, thin wooden signs, you find the Grove. It's a small slice of paradise with a large waterfall pouring out and various different waterfalls feeding into this stone-laden forest grove. You see that there are tents and homes, but for the most part, people kind of just live within the forest itself here. And moving out and about, you actually spot, like down on his knees in a constant
Jaeger.
form of prayer right now, is Jaeger. Just sitting down with he's wearing just a white, like, onesie.
Toga.
Yeah, basically kind of like
Speed suit.
a what?
A speed suit.
A speed suit? I don't know. Let's say not a toga. It's just like a white, almost like ritual garb. And he is sitting in a constant prayer in front of the waterfalls. The sea spray pours around. But he doesn't notice you guys. Looking out and about, you see a woman who is just sitting over on the other side of the grove. And her head down, fingers together. The grass around her almost seems to bloom and flowers. You see animals beginning to slowly move in and encircle. And you find yourself within the grove. What do you do?
That's Jaeger. I don't know what the protocol is to
Yeah, are we supposed
observe
to-
someone's prayer. Also, there's someone sitting over there that has animals and flowers growing over them. I'm pretty sure that if like anyone's going to be
He's
Eldath-
got to see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Should we just like go and see if Jaeger notices or something?
You could hit your sword on the ground.
Yeah, that'd be nice, and just a little gong for them. That's like super loud. I could try banging the two swords together in this moment.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna do that, Matilda.
Oh!
Do you want the
Don't
direction to go
put
good?
Don't put forth the hypothesis of being willing to test it out.
Well, she doesn't in Jaeger's direction.
Several people around are just like, whoa. As you just like kind of yell out, and there's like,
Maybe that's not protocol.
excuse me, there is a prayer session in place.
Oh.
What are you doing with this loud noise that
I
you've
was
just
trying
made?
to get attention.
Why would you do such things? You see this like small dwarven man with like his beard has just been shorn so that you can see the side of his mouth, and he has just this one long, incredibly thin section of beard. His hair pulled back into thick dreadlocks that like explode out as though they're just like hit by a windstorm.
I need to talk to Jaeger and Eldath, but I don't know the protocol for prayer. How long is this gonna take?
Well, Sir Jaeger has been currently engaged in prayer for roughly 2 days.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna interrupt that now.
Well, allow me to break the ice.
Okay.
I don't
Make
want
it.
you
Are you
too
gonna
worried. What was that?
Are you just gonna go up and go?
No, I was going to enter into his prayer circle as a request of entry into his consciousness. Would you like to join me?
Yes.
Most excellent.
Yeah.
Come, follow.
Okay.
Brings himself up to the edge of the water and kind of brings himself down to 2 knees.
I copy.
He sits in silence. How long do you guys sit?
I sit for like a minute. And then I open my eyes and I look.
He's hands on his knees, just sitting, like knees crossed. The woman on the other side in the high portion of the grove still sitting. Deer have kind of like rested down at this point.
So the woman, she's not looking?
No, her eyes are closed as well.
I try to like sneakily like edge my knees closer to the water, and I'm gonna try and splash Jaeger to get him out of his prayer.
You bring your hand down, you place your hand in the water. The second you do, all of the dirt on your hand just fizzles away. Like your hand feels refreshed. It's like nice and soft, and you just splash the water up towards Jaeger as it just...
But then before, I don't know if I get to do it in time, but I'm gonna try and like be like really quickly back in prayer.
Roll dexterity. It's not a high check for how long I went.
With half a clean hand.
I don't care. Okay, is it a dex check?
Just a dex check, yeah.
Okay. Come on, Matilda. It was not bad, but not great.
Jaeger's like, ugh. Who? What? Gela? Was that you? It looks over to his dwarf who just stays remaining in this constant locked prayer. Well, Matilda, Jojo, what are you doing here?
Hey.
Hey.
We're playing, apparently.
I don't think you are. You're not like entranced in the beauty of the natural environment
I
around
don't
you.
know how to do that.
Your hand's really clean, Matilda. That's cool.
Yeah, I ate with
How
this
can I help
hand.
you guys?
I needed to make sure it's very clean.
Oh, just the front of the fingertips. I like that. You're
Yeah.
saving the rest of your palm for like weapon wielding. That's good.
I was planning on taking some samples. We came back from the dungeon and I wanted to test what was on my hands.
Oh, how was your first foray? That's exciting. He stands up. Here, we should go. We don't want to interrupt anyone's prayer.
It's hard to do.
Is that Eldath? I point to the lady across the way.
No, that's Tilana. She's received the blessing of my lady.
Oh, cool. What are we gonna do about this book? You told me to come here, so I showed up.
Oh, we probably want to talk to Tilana about that, to be honest.
Okay.
She's kind of our just interpreter of the will of the lady.
Cool.
But I tell you what, here,
Why doesn't
why don't you
Zelda
guys-
tell you her will?
well, she does every now and then, but she's honestly quite busy. For the most part, she spends quite a bit of time in contemplative thought about the dangers of the world surrounding us and how
Sounds
to
pretty
bring
exhausting.
about an eternal peace. It must be, because honestly, I did that for like 2 days and pretty tired, so I could use some rest. You gotta get your rest from your prayer every now and then, am I right? Just begins to like
Don't I know
loosen
it?
up, limber up. All right, I'll tell you what. Head over to the refreshment tent. It's right over on that side, just on the right side of the grove. Grab some food. I'll be right there once I put clothes on.
Oh, you got craft good.
You got craft. You guys head over towards the tent, and after like 10 minutes, you see individuals kind of just passing by, but for the most part, people just enter into the grove and enter into this just serene prayer. Jaeger returns. In this instance, he has that woman who approaches you now. She looks human for the most part. Her hair very long, like previously pulled back, now just sits naturally across her entire body down to her knees. It's like this pale, kind of like gray-brown blonde. As she opens her eyes and looks towards you, her pupils are that of a goat. Just these slitted sideways hourglass eyes. And as she approaches you, just unblinkingly, just moves in and says, "It is wonderful circumstance that brings you here today. My lady was incredibly interested in the nature of the book that seems to have been found itself in your purchase.
Yes.
I hear you wish to speak with me in regards to this book."
Yes, well, I heard you wanted to speak with me because you wanted to look at this book, and that's fine. You can't keep it, though, because it's from my patron.
She looks towards Jaeger, and does anyone hear, Jojo or Matilda? You do speak Celestial, right, Matilda?
No, you're thinking
No?
of my old character.
In Celestial, these booming, echoing voices, they begin to speak to each other back and forth, and then eventually she looks back towards you and says, "I seem to understand the lay of the land now." My lady wished to interpret this book and to read from it in order to discern
Yes.
any prophecies it may have for the coming of the end of days.
I think you can still do that.
Most excellent. We are most appreciative of these opportunities. We do not wish to take too much of your time, but this book, as I understand, is lengthy in its infinite pages. So, at this moment, my Lady Eldath is indisposed. But perhaps you could come by another time, sending word of when you might have the free time to engage in a bit of light reading. She smiles, and then Jaeger's just like, oh, that was terrible. And she's just like, ha.
Is that a joke? Was it
Yeah, no, it was. Don't worry. Don't feed into it. Don't
like
do it.
that? Okay.
No, don't do it. Don't even try and interpret it. And she's like, oh, you will understand soon.
Hey,
Jaeger, we should get out of here. He grabs you guys. He's like, did you grab any beer? That's good. Yeah, here, come on. Let's go to the tent. She's like, return sometime. I wish to speak with you as well.
to me?
Just out loud.
Oh. Also, you can come to our house too. Going out here is very far. So I think you need to come to maybe not to Alice's house, but maybe at least to mine. This is
Actually,
not.
Jaeger, last time when you left Old Town, you like went down a different route than we took. Is there like a shortcut or something through the forest?
Yeah. How far can you jump?
Oh, how far can I jump? It's like half your strength score or something.
If you move 10 feet beforehand, it's your strength score.
I can jump 19 feet.
That's a good long jump. I mean, you might be able to make it.
Matilda's probably got a bit less.
Basically, head out west. There's like an old satellite manor on your guys' property, but if you keep going, there's kind of like a mausoleum, and then beyond the mausoleum, there's a staircase, and then into the staircase, there's a forest, and then beyond the forest, there's a river. But you need to be able to kind of jump that river. It leads out to a pretty gnarly drop, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can build a bridge sometime.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Oh, that sounds cool. I'm down. I can help you with that.
Cool.
I don't do very much typically. The waters don't affect me like they do everybody else, so.
A
lot of
us is
time on my
good
hands.
Carpenter, so he'd probably be able to knock that out really good.
Oh, cool. Cool, yeah. I thought I could help, but if I can't, that's cool too.
I mean, you can help out. I'm not very good at carpentry.
I don't want to impose or not. I don't want to, jump in there offering my help if it's not needed.
I'm sure it would be grateful. I don't know.
All right,
sure
done
it's
deal. I like
fine.
that. Gratefulness is great. And he just begins to trail off slightly. You see some of the people who return from their prayers, again, that just look of pure contentment and just that fluidity of their movements seems to just pour out of all of the people within this area. And then as you guys and Jaeger spend just a little bit of time kind of contemplating and speaking about the book and just the nature of everything around, was there anything else you guys wanted to accomplish in this trip?
No.
All right.
This interaction was great. It's time to leave.
Jaeger's like, cool. If you happen by, if you happen by the Rosewood Manor, let me know. I could probably say hey. That'd be cool. I don't have very many friends, so it's pretty
Rosewood
cool.
Manor. Where's that?
It's Shantia's family home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We could run by the
frequent
trade
it here?
forum too, and it's pretty sick there. Huh?
You frequent Shantia's family home too?
I do, yeah. I visit my mom there. She's
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm supposed to go to the Shanti home. I think I'm too late though, because it looks like they already sent a druid to Old Town, and I was supposed to go there because my dad, who's part of Shantia's family, was like, "Oh, you go to Shantia's family and talk to them about that." I didn't do it, so
it seems like it all got handled then.
I guess so.
Word. Man,
Okay.
those are some of the best days when you don't even gotta do nothing. No fingers lifted, you know what I mean? Go ahead, Matilda.
If I'm not busy, if we're friends, we're supposed to spend time together. So you can come over to my place and we could have dinner, and then my parents might come over, so that might be a little weird. But they're very, very strange.
He leans in and
best
says, I think we're all a little strange.
Wow.
Gives a
Good.
smile.
And then oh, and I can introduce you to my rabbit. Very cute little bunny. But yeah, you should come over for dinner.
He thinks on that and he's just like, squee. And then just like begins to back up slightly as he's picturing the concept of a rabbit and then just sits back and he literally is just like, I've never seen one of those before. I am so down. You literally, behind you, like 60, 70 feet, you see a rabbit hopping off into the
I
forest.
know. That's why Matilda's like, what the fuck?
As he smiles and this just like pearly white teeth shines through, both of you roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no!
Is he doing this purposely? Like, what is the deal?
It could be the woman behind him.
I want an insight. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, Matilda.
Oh, but it would have to include, do you guys feel the wisdom saving throw coming over you? Because if not, because it's like when I suggest someone, they make a wisdom saving throw, but they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, this is kind of just your fortitude. But as Jaeger begins to smile, the world around you gets a little bit happier. Like the roses begin to bloom around us, like the sparkling of his teeth just sets something alight within your heart.
Matilda just hates this.
Yep.
She's like, ew.
And as you guys finish this the craft beers that you've gathered from the refreshments
Yes.
tent, we cycle through.
PBR.
Killian, how do you spend your morn?
Killian's going to check in at the at her place of work. She's gonna check in at her shed of a blacksmith's shop.
The shed of work? Oh, let me
Yeah.
go ahead and pop that back.
As she's about to leave, she'll say, "Vincent, was the drinks at the Black Sheep open to anyone or just for JoJo?"
Oh no, anyone. Darling, if you want to come down, I'm sure I could. This evening, we could all have some chit chat and some drinks.
Oh, okay. Do I need to wear something better?
No. Patrons, you come as you are. You can wear something you like, or just something comfortable. It doesn't really matter. If I'm there,
Okay.
don't worry. The girls will treat you well.
Okay. Sure. I'll try to make it out tonight then.
We'll get to see you there, dear. And don't worry. I'll keep an extra eye out. I don't plan on losing my head anytime soon.
That's good. Me neither. And she'll head out from Old Town.
I assume you're just riding on Bladebeak through the city streets?
Yep.
You seem to draw a little bit of attention, almost like recognition as you move through the streets, and you end up at your place of residence and passing through the small market up to your shed, which is kind of like wedged in between these two larger buildings. You can see that the pathway before you, that's usually like just dirt covered and requires a ton of cleaning, seems to have been relatively cleared by foot traffic as people have been coming and going throughout the area.
Okay.
You approach, you go to open the door is locked.
I kind of go like, "Whew. All right, that's one thing at least." I'm trying to decide if I want to pick my own lock to get in. One thing that I was wondering though, the recognition that I'm getting, is it just because I'm going through a monstrous area, or am I getting people like looking at me or waving at me, or like, is it the usual kind of like people noticing that I'm just a goblin, or is it like they're seeing that I'm Bladebeak, or they like see that I'm Killian?
Go ahead and roll insight as you move through to try and discern the motives of this groups of people. 14. There's almost like a rumor that seems to follow around. Like as you see them, it's not even like they stare at you because a goblin's passing by, or they're just like, whoa, like, what is that thing? Right? But as you pass by, they just begin to like speak to each other. So like, is that the one? Is that the person? That,
None of them like
who the
address
fuck
me
else?
directly though.
No, people just seem to be kind of like taking note of you as you're passing by.
If I awkwardly meet anyone's gaze, I'll just kind of like smile, like, and just like brandish my buck teeth at them. But then I'll just keep moving. I'm not gonna like talk to them or anything.
Roll a charisma check.
Okay.
Where previously you might have expected people to have like just shirked back at the sight of like this just pleasantry. Now this, you like spot these few people who seem to be just like large like pieces of timber on their back as they're moving through the area, moving from storehouse to storehouse and moving goods. You give them just like a brief smile as you catch their gaze, and they just continuing past as they continue to once again just chat back and forth between each other, and eventually you reach your side home, where you find the door to be locked. In this early morning, you would have ascertained that Killig would have been here at this point in time, but the doorway's still locked.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it then.
Okay, I'm gonna roll perception. Go ahead and make a thieves' tools check. In this case, it would be Dex with proficiency.
I'm just gonna roll sleight of hand because that's the same.
Cool.
Same numbers, just easier to do.
In absolutely no time, just it's your lock after all. Doorway
Not
opens.
the first time I've
in.
had to pick my way into my own lock.
You enter in the shop, closed. There's the slightest little bit of dust that's kind of accumulated on the tables. Seems like there hasn't been much by way of airflow in the last few days.
I'm just gonna like do a once over on my stock, see if any of my like just generic stuff is still there, like even if it's just like, you know, the parchment that I have to write down orders. Just like I'm trying to see if anyone's even been here.
Some goods are missing, and you do spot that in a small kind of like oak box underneath the counter. You pop it open and you see about 3 copper pieces. So you guys got 4 copper pieces, which means that in the amount of days that have been tended to, Killig has been here and has taken their cut for 4 days, as far as you can tell with your passives.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe he has a good reason that he's not here. And I'll, you know, kind of close everything up, lock it back. I don't think I have to pick it back into locked position. I can probably just like just padlock it as I leave. And I'm gonna head home. See if he's there.
When you return home, you take a quick glance about the area. You still do not notice. You do not see. Killig's room, the footlocker is closed. Seems like their clothing and their boots, their bag, virtually anything that was of their immediate belongings seems to be missing.
All right. Are there any just nearby monstrous, like effectively
Always.
like roommates? I'm just gonna say, hey, have you seen Killig?
You see a bugbear named Digo, who says,
I have not seen Killig in a few days.
Okay.
It's been hard. Killig told me that we would go shopping together. My hands are so large, the items so small.
Oh, when did he say he would do that? The last time you saw him?
It was more of an open statement.
Okay. Well, I can't find him right now, but if you have the time now, I could go shopping with you if you need.
I would like that. I have been hungry. I have been purchasing my food with what I can fit within my mouth.
Stands, pulls out like a small bag of gold and says, "The money has been accumulating." Places it just like down into the side pouch of these thin pants that are worn over the fur, just kind of puffing out just into this massive muffin top of fur.
Okay, give me just a few minutes. I just got back from the dungeon. I need to just put some stuff away.
Very well.
So I'm gonna go to like my quote unquote room. I'm gonna go to my corner, and just check to see if the 40 gold that I had placed under there in case I perished in the dungeon is still there.
It is not.
Okay.
Now, when you had placed it, there really, as far as you could tell, wasn't really anybody watching you directly for the exact location. But you did mention aloud within
I shouted
the,
it out.
You did mention aloud within the area. So just like the amount of people that could have potentially taken this would be impossible to determine.
Yeah. All right. Can I do a once over for any members of my brood, or even if like Patience is here?
Go ahead and roll perception. Was the roll 11? Glancing around in the courtyard, you do see Yaga, who is working on a large kind of just tanning rack. It's currently just like pulling apart a particularly difficult hide. You can see it's quite impressive. It looks like a portion of a dire bear pelt.
Okay.
Hi, Killian.
Hi. I'm back. Has anything happened?
Well, quite a bit of the mercenaries brought some work my way. That's been interesting. People have been mentioning you and some kind of lizard guy.
Oh, that's
saying
probably
something
Pekka.
Pekka, all right. Been mentioning something about like a metal invention, the beast you got over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems to have garnered a bit of interest. Get a ash bond with it. Days you're famous. I've been tanning for years.
Just continues just tearing at this hide.
Well, I mean, if you keep at it, it's entirely possible my family might eventually branch out into needing skilled workers.
I'm just tanning your hide, as it were. Yeah, you get it.
You see two kobolds off to the side be like,
He's like, yeah, they get it.
he stands and looks towards you and is like,
Yeah, have you seen Killig around?
No, I'm actually just gonna go shopping with a bugbear that Killig said he would go shopping with,
Oh,
but then
Digo.
didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been complaining for a couple of weeks now.
yeah. It did look like, well, I asked Killig to look after my shop and take his cut, and it looks like he was there, but he wasn't there today. Have you? When did you last see him?
It's probably been a couple days.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen him around exactly in the last couple of days, but he's out and about, usually. Something weird going on.
Almost always, but now it might actually be directed at us. I don't know. I mean, being famous isn't always a good thing, right? I just want to make sure he's okay.
I'll keep an ear to the ground and try and figure something out.
Okay. Also, I know it probably wasn't you, but the 40 gold for in case I died is gone. You wouldn't have seen anyone around my bed anytime.
No. Not within, like, not outside of reason.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I hope they use it well. All right. Also, by the way, that's looking really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been hard. It's got thick fur, these ones.
This is like taps it, and you could just feel the pride beaming through of just like the work. As you just leave this brief conversation, he says,
I'm gonna get patience to try and get the truth out of a lot of people. Maybe we'll put together like a little dinner, a potluck, and see if we can grind some information out of people. I like this whole subterfuge thing. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Feels tricky.
Yeah, it's great. Sure. Yeah, we could do a mystery dinner, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a play.
It's like a play. Who stole the gold in the play? And then everyone get nervous as soon as they think, oh, but it was me what stole the gold. Right? This is good. I like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Right. Yeah. Right you are. Back to work.
turns back to the tanning rack.
As I'm about to leave, I turn around. I'm like, I am serious, by the way. If my family, grows, you're good at what you do. We could potentially bond you as a tradesman.
Killian. Fuck yeah.
Killian just runs up, gives Yaga a high five, and then turns around and keeps heading out.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like tanning killed my father, so I couldn't possibly. No, he's like, fuck yeah. No,
So
as you head out, the morning comes to a head for you and moves into the afternoon. But Vincent, we find you now in the early morning.
Okay. Vincent is going to instruct Mo to accompany him for this morning visage. He is going to go get Paka really quickly as well. Hey, Paka.
Yeah.
Remember those things I told you to buy? And he'll pass him 20 gold. Can you make sure you have those ready in your pack tomorrow?
Yeah. I'll do it so fast too.
Good, dear. And make sure to get the good ones.
Okay. I won't, the mixing it all up really makes it difficult, but I'll get the ones that you can mix up real good.
Also, can you grab me some extra walloping arrows and arrows as well? I used a couple up in the dungeon.
Sure.
Paka can for sure handle doing a bit of shopping for you guys. He has no idea how to haggle though.
He'll pay full price. It's fine right now. His time is more valuable than money at this point. And then he'll go find Lavos really quickly. Lavos, I don't want to hide myself, but Jojo's got me thinking. You know how you can move something once a day? Or when you feel like it, I guess.
Yeah. I've basically dictated this place as my home. So I can move pretty easily throughout the thresholds of it.
So you can't move me up somewhere in the city?
I mean, I can move me pretty quickly, a limited number of times a day. I don't think I can really move others. I haven't really tried. Been quite a bit of a lone in my life. We could give it a shot.
I'm willing to give it a shot, but what's the worst thing that could happen? I won't be crushed, will I? And die?
I mean, it's possible, but that's just if I fuck up and bring us into some kind of chariot or fence post or fence itself or building or wall or tree or just physical.
I can give you an exact
objects.
location in the city to take me.
Latitude
You've
and
been there
longitude.
before,
Sounds good to me.
So Mo's also hiding on my person. Is that going to cause an issue?
Oh, fuck, probably, yeah. But I don't care if that fucker gets squished.
Just see like a spider being like this on the shoulder.
One spider leg raises up as though to give the middle finger.
Just my room at the Black Sheep. You could get me there somewhat discreetly. I need to clean up before one of my appointments this afternoon.
All right, let's give this a shot. Takes your hand. Roll fate dice.
I can't get Lavos to roll the fate dice, can I?
You can if you want.
Can I inspire him?
Sure. So that's
I
a
will do
D4.
that.
Oh, with fate? No. Nothing can alter fate.
Okay, then I'll roll it.
Okay.
It's a 2.
As he takes your hand, you see Lavos just disappear and then appears again. He's like, I was in the kitchen. It doesn't seem to work.
Well, you work on that, dear. I guess we'll try again another time.
God's only as powerful as the prayers that are offered to him and the family that he wields, but powerful for a different reason on that front. I think the more fame we get, the more power I'll have. But for now, I'm no Lathander, that's for sure.
Well, I'll think of this on later, and hopefully you'll gain the new abilities the more I think on it. I'll see you later then. Are you coming tomorrow or no?
Oh, of course I am. I'll be there I'll be with bells on.
Good. I'll keep an ear out then. And Vincent will turn around and start heading out. He is going to cast Disguise Self on him and hail a carriage.
You reach the outer edge of the forest path and you jump into a carriage. You are
Using
heading
his
towards.
Cloak of many fashions, he'll put it up so like people can't investigate his disguise very much. He looks gloom. He hates hiding himself. But he takes on the visage. He's still a tiefling, but he's a female tiefling with like just black hair, long black hair. He'll take his hair out of it's typical. It was in a bow while it was up in the dungeon, and he'll have his cloak up and everything. And she's got like just light blue skin. She's pretty pretty, but nothing that would be like not Vincent quality pretty. Not quite enough to attract people.
You're just saying not in that kind of vein of high society dealing. Gotcha. As you bow down, you jump into a carriage. That's 214 minutes, which would.
I need to go to. It's still the morning. The appointment's not till the afternoon, so I need to go. I'm just gonna go to the Black Sheep and wash up, change, and take a shower.
Okay, that's actually significantly closer. So in that instance, from where you were over to the Black Sheep, boop boop. You're looking at 80 minutes, so quite the quick trip.
He heads there.
3 silver. And then as you finish your Windwalker carriage ride, the height of comfort awaits you within this carriage. And when you get out, you can't help but think, Windwalkers, it's the only way to travel. And you find yourself at the Black Sheep. Mo, kind of on your shoulder, has just been like tapping his legs in this just rhythmic pattern. You feel like this sense of nervousness because you're like, we need to talk, and then nothing.
Yeah, and then he'll head around back. There's a back entrance to the Black Sheep. He would know this place inside and out.
Sounds good.
And he heads up. If any of the girls stop him on his way, he'll lean in and just explain it's for a client and continue on. Tell them to keep quiet about him being back.
Yeah, I think you probably would have been stopped to be like, excuse me, if you would like a job here, then you... Oh, never mind. As you just as soon as you speak, it's like, oh, Vincent, yep. And you're like, it's for a client, and they're like, oh, that's so useful. You make your way. Where do you head through?
He heads up to his bedroom, but before he goes in, he's just going to get Mo to spider on under the door and just give it a one over. There's no like assassins waiting on the other side.
Spider comes back out. It gives you a spider-like look.
He'll send him a message. Does it seem clear?
It is clear.
Okay. Then he'll go in.
You enter into the room, you die.
Oh no.
What do you do while you're here?
So the first thing he does, he just like looks around and he's like, oh, and he'll take off the cloak. He'll go grab some wine and just gesture for Mo to go sit down on. He has like a 2-person table there. It's kind of nice. There's some lounge chairs next to it.
Shifts back into an impish form and kind of just scurries over onto the chair and looks around. It's like,
This is rather swanky, master. Is this my room now?
No, this is mine. You're going to reside back at the family home. Well, of course, you could stay out anywhere else, but you don't have any sort of protection.
Your god is a git.
Bianca doesn't know what that means.
An asshole.
basically.
Oh, well, you just gotta wait and let him warm up to you a little bit. He's not super trustworthy of your kind, and frankly, I don't think there's anyone that is, including myself. However, it doesn't mean that can't be earned. He'll go over and grab wine glasses and put them down. He'll stop for a second and grab like a smaller drink glass, like a shot glass, I guess, and bring it over and fill it with wine for the imp.
Takes
And he'll just sit down in the chair next to him, and I think it's about time we chatted a little bit about our relationship, dear.
Just slams it down. Looks around at the brothel.
I'm assuming by the way you spoke of them and, your old name and everything, your old masters didn't treat you extremely well, I'm assuming.
Very few have.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, some people just can't see potentials in others.
Right.
He's inside checking everything this imp is doing for this entire conversation.
That would be your passive insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be a little honest with you right now. I don't really care that you're an imp. You could be immortal. You could be a god sitting in that chair across from me. And it wouldn't change my opinion in the end. But what I really care about is how you view me. I don't care whether you choose to love me, hate me, or fear me in the end, but as long as you worship me in your own way. The only time I think we'll have an issue is if you do something against me.
It has been different than what I'm accustomed to, certainly.
Looks around.
If this is what I am to receive, things like this,
Points towards the wine.
and more of this, then I can assure you you've nothing to worry about from me.
Well, that's good, dear. And enough about me. Leading off what you said, I want to know what you want. Now that you're somewhat disconnected from your plane, and as Lavos has put it, you're not an original in a sense. What are your desires? What gets you off? What do you need while you're here?
Well, I wish to grow, if you must know. When I started out, I was but a bumbling mass of flesh, collection of consciousnesses. But I earned my way forward. I killed and I ate enough to gain my own form. But since then I was summoned by fools and I died. Cut off from the outer planes, I returned to the primordial ooze and was created in this impish form. I was but a lemure in the past. I think a pit fiend is in the future for me. But that's not just to say to impress you in this interview, you know. I see great things in my future.
Well, as long as you have aspirations, that means we can work on them, dear. I don't know what you quite require, if it's souls or simply to please those above you, but we could work out ourselves a deal in the future if you prove yourself to be useful. And he'll reach to his side and pull a little pouch and toss it onto the table next to him. It's just 10 gold coins in there. I have a job for you.
Just like grabs it quickly and just looks at it.
All right.
I need you to find someone in town called Regis Swift. He knows about us, but I don't want you telling him who your master is in this sense. We have a knowledge of his whereabouts somewhat. A card inside the family that will portray where his location is. It changes once a week. Once you're able to find him, because you so dearly mentioned you have friends, and so I think you can find him, I want you to ask him for the information on our family, anything in the underground that exists, and anyone that would have our names out. I know Umberly's out for us now, but I want to see what type of rumors are out there aside from that.
It shall be done. And as for what I want, if I truly accept you, leading into this arrangement of ours, then
he like looks you up and down and begins to size you up, and kind of thinks about the fact that the gods just like appeared and people want you dead, and it's like you can see an interest in his face. Says,
if we are to enter into some kind of a proper magical contract, it would be entirely my stake in investment in you that determines my growth. Whether I grow into a god among demons or not would be entirely at your disposal. Your power and souls definitely play into it.
Well, dear, I can assure you one thing. I don't disappoint.
roll persuasion. He says,
One way or the other, I will find this Regis Swift. We'll see if he is as swift as they say.
17. You see he gives a slow nod.
One
Master.
thing to add for payment, Regis is an interesting individual. He might not want gold, so let him know your master can partake in identifying as well as creating forged documentation.
It shall be
He can
done.
offer these services.
That was I assumed. I did not think you were simply bragging to this Regis Swift.
Mm.
I will begin immediately. Was there anything else?
As he slowly makes his way towards the drawn curtains, the balcony outside.
Vincent just gets up and starts to take off his clothes because he's going to go hop in the shower. No, leave.
Very well.
Out the window.
And I think that's all he had. He just wants to fucking relax a little bit and take a shower and drink a lot of wine, but not enough that he would be unprofessional going to see the Valentines later on.
Just gets blitzed.
Vincent's tolerance is pretty high, but he knows.
I just, Jojo, I don't want you embarrassing me. Hey, Valentine fuckers, I'm here. Throws it down to the ground. Smash. As we circle around, let's take a short break here. Matilda, was there any RP you wished to burn through in this afternoon slot?
I was thinking that if Jojo wanted to go check out the Lavender Cafe, Matilda would join her because she went with her on her thing.
Okay, yeah. Probably get a carriage there. It's super far.
I'll pay for this one.
Okay.
Where are you guys? Oh, you're there.
We're all the way to the fucking Eldath district because holy balls.
Yep. So, circling up and about throughout the district. Park, over, around, through the circle. It's such, like, wonderful sights moving through the city, especially in various different locations. Like, moving through the Dennery, it's like this metropolitan area, and then you pass by Baloris District, and natural elements just suffuse the entire area. Seeing Old Town Forest in the distance, and then just the constant magic of the circle. You see flames, like, perpetually floating in midair. People going off with sparklers and various different, like, spell effects going on. People just dressed to the teeth in illusory clothing. Just fashion and future and magic everywhere. And then eventually you wind around to the Lavender Cafe, which looks like a druid's fucking wet.
We're just
meat.
talking about how great Jaeger is on the ride because we're low wisdom scores.
I think that Matilda's probably. I like Jaeger. He seems really nice.
Yeah.
He makes. When he smiled at me.
You ever seen roses? Just
Yeah.
like- That's weird.
I don't like it.
Hey!
You ever seen roses? Yeah. Walk through the front doors. It's weird. Oh, hey, Jojo. Oh,
Hey.
Matilda.
Yeah,
Neither of you smell like ever-living death. Welcome home.
yeah.
I'm really. How was your first dive? And then you guys get pulled in and placed down, and food immediately put in front of you, and sandwiches and tea. It's just like he sits down.
It was a little. I mean, it was awesome, but a few problems. But
Oh.
nothing we couldn't handle.
Right.
Yeah. Much better than our first mission. Jojo didn't cause any of my injuries this time.
Yeah.
Jojo, those pranks can get out of hand.
Yeah. No, that's not what it was. I got possessed.
Oh, what? Wait. Okay.
That was a
Like-
while ago.
Jojo, what did I tell you about strength of character and mind?
I can't.
We'll continue working on it.
She does
Yeah.
lack presence, but she is a very important asset to the team. That's not her role to play, which is okay.
My daughter was called an asset team. Just begins to tear up. Oh my god.
That's okay, Jojo. You don't have to be the presence of the group.
Thanks. Thank you, Tilda.
He writes that down, like, Jojo's called an asset to the team today, folds it up and puts it in the tip jar.
Yeah, so what's up here? Is everything okay while I was gone?
It's been quiet. There hasn't been too much happening. Yuka's
You've been-
been running around. He's got a stick, and he thinks that it's some kind of a hammer. He's been
Okay.
wielding it as such. There's quite a few lumps on the old shins, that's for sure.
On your shins? Who is he?
Yeah, but honestly, he's been getting me pretty good. I can't blame him.
I'd like to take him on. Where's this kid at?
Oh, he's probably upstairs right now. Here, take this stick. And it's particularly large. I was going to wield it myself, but
Awesome. Okay. Matilda, you can stay here. Hang out. And Jojo's gonna stomp upstairs, and I don't think she's gonna try and be quiet. She's gonna be like, "Free five faux fum, squirt! Get out of here with your stick!"
the door just bursts open and he's just like,
I thought you would come one day. I knew
My
that you'd be here.
arch nemesis.
Do-do-do-do-do.
You didn't remember the rest of your monologue?
Wah,
Pose.
wah, wah.
he holds the stick at arm's length, keeping the monster at bay as he begins to just
I think
narrate
Jojo's
his
gonna
movements.
focus on blocking because I don't think she trusts herself enough to not like hurt him really bad.
That'll be +4 to your AC. Oh shit. This is an 18 to hit.
Oh shit!
What's your current
15.
AC?
15 is my AC.
15, so 19. Ping, parry the stick, and he's like,
You have done well this time.
and you see he begins to back up, being like, that was the best I had. Time to flee.
And Matilda's just left downstairs with Ron. That's honestly so good.
Oh,
Ron's
just eating food.
He's just sitting in silence, takes a single bite of the sandwich, is like, oh, so good.
Your food is very tasty. Have you been putting money in the cash register like you were told to when we were gone?
Yes.
If I were to look, would there be more in there? Has Jojo asked you to do that?
I think so. You see, he
Okay.
starts to get nervous. Let me go check really quick. Puts the sandwich
Okay.
down. You just hear like, closes it, puts it back in, comes in, sits down. He's like, ugh, I don't know how much money is worth. Takes another bite. There are some silvery ones in there. I think those are the good ones.
Matilda just gets a piece of paper out of her book and starts explaining how money works to Ron while she's upstairs with her
5
brother.
seconds in, you're just like, this is copper. And he's like, slow down, slow down, slow down. Like, commerce. And then it's just like camera heads back up the steps where you see Yuka, who's just now dual wielding, and he's like, versatile.
Come at me, on guard.
My last one was the best one I had. Hey-ya! Goes in for a strike.
She's not gonna do the dodge action. She's gonna let him hit her.
Okay, with a 4. As he comes in, you're literally like moved back, and he hits the blade and just like carries it through. Roll performance.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. I think what she was gonna do, she wasn't gonna like pretend to like let him hit her. I think she was gonna like recklessly throw caution to the wind, let him hit her, and then grapple him.
Ooh, I like that. All right, he's gonna roll with advantage. Ooh, that was another 18.
Hell yeah.
He carries through, hits the stick once, and then as you like you went in for that reckless attack force, he's like, you're open! Goes in, slams you in the side with the stick, and it's actually quite a wallop. Like, this is a fear bulk we're talking about. It's just like, boom! Impacts into your ribs, and what do you do?
Grapple him.
You just like circle around. That'll be a grapple check. See, like siblings wrestling is the best instance of the rules of this game. Oh my god. Tell me what happens.
I think what happens is he goes in, wallops her in the side. She puts her arm around his waist and then just flips him upside down. So his head is like, his feet are just like hanging over her shoulder. And she's like, pretty good. She starts walking down the stairs with him.
As you grab him, you begin to flip him, and then just like the script in his mind, he's like, you may have won this time, oh Green Menace, but I will find the next time to take you down. Calamity.
Okay, Lavender Menace.
Eventually you hit the bottom
Menace.
of the stairs, and you're just like, have a defeated Yuka who's just looks at us like, oh hey Dad. Like, hey Yuka.
How much have I taught him? Has he learned anything? Like, I want to know how much I've taught him about money.
He's just like stressed out. Go ahead and roll teaching it.
How do I roll teaching?
Do you have a teaching score?
No.
No? Okay. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check. You would have... I'll give you proficiency on this. And then after this, you can add a teaching score to your character sheet. And Jojo, you can add a wrestling score. Not wrestling. Big difference.
Yeah, wrestling.
All right. What's our proficiency score again right now?
+2.
2, thank you. Sorry. Normal.
Oh, goodness.
Come on, teach him good. Yes, I taught him very well.
Ron's like, the fiscal year it's actually been better than fully expected for the concept of just such a small tea house, but goodness, this is too many. Let me just take a breath.
Yes.
What does fiscal mean again?
Yes, I will teach you that. It takes a lot of patience and practice to learn these things, so take a break.
So this...
Next time, I'll take it to your taxes.
Oh.
That might be I believe in you, Ron. Oh, hey.
I'm
Yuka.
filled with determination.
Oh, actually, hey, Matilda, are you okay if I talk about the garden? Tell them about, your time about the garden?
Yeah?
It's pretty cool. You know that story of that person getting kicked out, Yuka? That was Matilda.
What?
Isn't that cool?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy. How did you get all the blood?
What blood? Wait, what was the story?
Oh, there was like, there's got to be at least 15 animals that were taken like up the area, and like the whole place rained with blood, and everybody was scared. And then I heard demons showed up, and then there was like, and then people were like flying around, and it was crazy.
People are real stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
And they make assumptions about people that they shouldn't make. And then there's consequences when they make those assumptions.
I know, like, for example, these kids called me furry guy, and I kicked him in the shins, and that was just immediate consequences.
Yeah.
That was really mean of them.
Sometimes it's good to bide your time and make them think that nothing's going to happen, and then you bring the consequences, and sometimes they can be a lot more scary and a lot more severe.
I think
Exactly. Like
Jojo-
if some humans find their way into your forest, and he looks over towards Ron, and Ron's like, "What do we do if humans find their way into our forest?" Obscure. That's right, buddy. Although, we can also cause them to get lost for 3 or 4 years. That's fine too. Yuka's like, exactly. Looks back towards Matilda as like a mentor.
A lot of times butchers get rid of blood and they don't use it. So if you put something somewhere to collect it, they won't know that you're taking it. And the best part is to leave it out for a few days because then it smells really bad when it falls on them. And then they're covered in blood and they smell bad.
I picture you put like a funnel just in the spot where a butcher might discard of blood, and it's just like, was there a funnel there always? I don't know. This is where I put the blood, so this is where it's going.
There's probably a drain because a lot of butcher shops have a drain. If Matilda found a way to get a hose into where the drain is and connected it to a bucket, then she would have been able to collect the blood.
Science.
Maybe don't put this stuff in the practice, Yuka, because you'll get expelled. I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, you don't want that. You seem like someone that is more personable than I am, and people didn't like me for no reason. So
I like you for no reason.
Yeah, I gave them a reason not to like me though for once, not just a stupid reason. But yeah, well, thank you for liking me.
Yeah, for every person who doesn't like you, I'll like you once. Okay, so we're at it's 3.
She puts him down finally.
Yeah, he's still been held upside down this whole time. As you guys take a nice little bit of a respite within the Lavender Cafe, we cycle in and through. Matilda and Jojo, you find rest here. Was there anything else that you wished to accomplish within this last little bit?
Nah.
Killian, was there anything you wished to portray in your afternoon? As you go shopping with the bugbear Digo?
Yeah, I think the only thing that Killian wants to do is just kind of like almost do like a bit of a information gather. Where is Digo shopping?
Pretty much in the market just outside.
Oh, okay.
Immediately outside of your guys' stack house is a pretty decent sized market that travels down the main kind of cobbled thoroughfare just behind Tyr and Helm's district.
Okay, yeah, I think as they shop, Killian's just gonna keep an eye out for like monsters that she's in relatively good standing with, or like people that she knows that Killig might spend time with, and just try to inquire as to like where his whereabouts is, when they last saw him, all that kind of stuff. But it's not like she's just moving from person to person, ignoring Digo. She's just, when Digo's there, between when she needs to get the coins out for him and all that kind of stuff, then she'll be asking those people.
Go ahead and roll a investigation check.
Sure. Oh, it was so close to a nat 20 on mine.
Within the area, attempting to gather information from this market, you do get a lot of snubbed noses and a lot of just, "Who do you think you are, speaking to us like that?" And then just moving out and away. This bugbear's kind of just moving through like in the area, and people are pretty much avoiding you guys, giving you this massive berth. And then eventually the bugbear like leans down in this carriage and just like grabs a single grape and places it in a bag, and then another one. And then meanwhile the person at the back's just... It's not uncommon to see like monsters here at all.
Right.
But there does seem to be like just an air around the bugbear specifically. You don't seem to gather too much information from the surrounding area in regards to what's been going on.
Well, if anyone's particularly nasty about it, then Killian would probably not cause a scene, but just be like, "We're perfectly fine paying customers. I don't know what you want from us."
Roll. What would this be? This is like, I feel like this is almost roll instigation. Roll, I suppose, intimidation.
Okay.
You receive a blow to the back of the head by a particularly soft citrus fruit. Kind of just
Like a tomato.
the most citric fruit of all of them, the tomato. No, kind of like it's like a mushy lemon almost. And as you turn around, you spot that there's just these few kids, maybe 13 or 14, staring at you, and they're like, "One tribe, my ass." Turn around and just begin to scatter in 3 different directions. One of the kids screams out at the last minute, "Yeah, there's only one kind of you monsters." As they rush away.
Are they monstrous or are they just
Humans.
like a bunch of punk kids?
Three punk ass humans.
Killian just shouts back, "Thanks for the free food."
Got him.
And is just gonna like peel the fruit off of her
Yee!
thing, take a like bite, just like
Digo turns around and is just like, "Where did you get that food?
someone
How
threw it
did
at.
you?" "Oh,
You want some?
yes."
I give him the rest.
Like just covered in the fur and these just vicious teeth as he's like, "Moves through it." The eyes just trained around looking. He doesn't see any of the kids. And then the people around just kind of like, "Jeez, what's going to happen?" And he's just like, "I also wanted one." Brings himself back down.
Where the kids had been before they cheesed it, is there like a fruit stand, or were they just holding on to like rotten fruit for
It seemed
just
like
such
they
an occasion?
had this on them. It doesn't
Okay.
really seem like anything in the area has like sells fruit, especially not like this is just almost mush.
Okay. I just kind of pat him on the back. I'm like, "It's all right, big guy. They're gone. I don't think they had the food anywhere here, but we could maybe find some."
He turns around, takes out like 3 gold pieces, and is like, "Is this enough?" And places it down on the table. And then they just like look at the bugbear and look at you, and then they just like hand back all of the gold, and then just like take one, cut it up into proper change, and like hand it to you in this minor intimidation. You can see they just like cut exact change as you determine. He's like, "Thank you." Tosses the coins back in.
I like kind of tug on his arm and I say, "They were very nice. You should tip them." And
Turns
then
and
I like use my fingers to like push a couple of the coins through his palm to be like, "This little pile, this little pile."
Slam!
I don't know how much he spent, but
Like
know.
it was like 6 or 7 copper, and he places down another like 4 copper and slides it towards them with a. "You're nice.
very good.
Thank you."
Yeah, thank you.
You're
and,
welcome.
I just like turn him around and lead him to wherever the next place is that he needs to buy things.
You see, there's like a shopkeep off to the side, this dwarvish shopkeep who's just standing there like. And you approach, there's like, "Ooh." Get themselves ready. Digo appears like,
Aye, Digo, welcome.
and Digo's just like sits down and he's like, "What weapons do you have?" Shows him a bunch of axes and he's like, "I like them all." Stands and just moves on to the next stall and just kind of moves in like piece to piece, talking to the people who he's aware of and like just stopping by every time. He's like, "That's nice. This is a necklace," and tries to put it on. It's just like, it doesn't even make it to the ears. And he's like, "It does not fit me." Places it down, just moves on to the next stall. No hello, no goodbye, just saying everything that comes to mind.
As he moves on from like, for example, like the necklace stall, I just kind of go like, "Does he do this often?
He does.
Do you think he'd buy something if you made it one bigger?"
I suppose. But
How much would
I
it?
don't know that Digo ever really buys anything.
How much would it cost to get him a decent sized necklace? It doesn't have to be fancy.
Oh, I just sell things, dear. I don't make them.
Oh,
If you'd like something, though, the tradesman's forum to the eastern side of the deanery would be a good bet.
oh, okay.
I'm sure they'd relish the opportunity to make such a long necklace. Except with
Yeah.
Digo.
For sure. Okay, well, thank you for letting him peruse. And she'll just like wave and keep going.
This half-elven woman smiles and is like, "I would not dare try and stop him." And smiles, and you don't know if that's like a I'm being nice or I'm terrified.
Killian will actually stop and say, "Why?"
Roll persuasion. Digo can have a bit of a temper.
Oh. Okay.
You turn around
Is-
and you look at him as she says this, and he's sitting there just smiling, holding 2 lemons up to his ears, and he's like, "Look, earrings." Places them down and just moves to the next stall.
You know what sets him off?
I don't. It's a little bit sporadic, I'd say.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Of course.
Killian will keep going. Is it like common knowledge that bugbears are easily goaded or like prone
say
to like flare-ups?
Go ahead and roll nature.
Okay.
Actually, you can have this one. It does seem bugbears do have like an innate temper, like incredibly aggressive, but the bugbears that you know that you've grown up with, especially with the inception of the one tribe, have been just very much trying to bring that to a level of constant calm. And it's been a long time in the making of doing so, and it like that monstrous kind of just built-in aggression can every now and then bubble up. In a
Gotcha.
similar fashion to like all of the monstrous races and the difficulties that they have with the like their lineages of their races coming in
Yeah.
and through with like frustrations and aggressions and these slight little things that bubble up from your histories within the dungeon. But as you continue your day with Digo, it's wonderful, and Digo is a great company. Moving into the other side of the city, Vincent, we find you now. In the afternoon, you are heading towards the
Valentine family.
Valentine Manor.
Yeah, inside of the Cobble Den.
Inside of the
I can't
Cobble
remember
Den.
exactly where it was.
It is just to the other side of the Windwalker's estate.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So Jojo works at the Lavender Cafe. At any time during, because we had like a month off too, and there was times. Do you think Jojo would have given Vincent some tea, like not in a cup, but like physical tea samples?
If he'd asked for it.
I think he might have.
Yeah.
Should I roll fate for that, Adrian, or?
No, you can totally have that.
Should
Yeah,
I
he'll-
minus some gold or something?
Sure. How much do you think that would be? He has a use for it right now.
How much tea are you buying?
I'd say enough to make like it's like those assortment packets. So there's one of different types of style. So maybe like 5 to 10 cups of different types of tea.
It'd be like over tea. Teas it can be somewhat expensive. I'd just say that's like a gold, and you get some nice teas.
And he'll grab that little satchel of the different teas and bring it with him when he goes.
Sweet. You have a nice little box. It's like a red wood box with the symbol of the Lavender Cafe emblazoned upon the top of it. And as you make your way through the city, that would be another 7 silver for the carriage to here.
He's not being as discreet this time. He's because he already knows he has an appointment here, so it'd be known. But he's not making a show of it either. Vincent puts on some of his wealthy attire. He's wearing like a full black turtleneck shirt, long sleeved, with like a blue dress shirt kind of around the cape. Like one of his cape of many fashions turns into that basically. So it's like a nice light blue, black pants, and he's got like a silver chain on and stuff. Somewhat simple.
As you find your way to the entrance, a servant opens the door, and you see, dressed in just this solid pitch black suit, black undershirt, black socks, black shoes. Sorry, go ahead.
As he's exiting the carriage to the Cobble Den, I needed to cast a spell on myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Awe on me.
Ooh, okay. You just begin to emit an aura about you. And as the individual opens the door, they look towards you and say, "Have you reason to be at our doorstep, good sir?"
I have an invitation, the Valentines, from Carmilla. Vincent Coldwater.
Ah, we have been expecting you, my lord. Come, follow me.
Doorway opens. Both doors just simultaneously. Massive, brilliant oak doors leading into a central kind of sitting room of a large manor. You can see there's a mudroom off to the side, a large aquarium vivisecting the room in two. On the right side, there's like a lowered sofa lounge off to the edge, and you can see Carmina kind of just sitting, pen in mouth, looking at a piece of paper, and she's like jotting something.
That was my bad. I meant to say Carmina instead of Carmilla.
That's okay. I totally got. The guy wasn't like, I'm going to lead you to your death now.
I would if someone got Vincent's name wrong.
That's funny. Now, as you enter in, Carmina's sitting there. She notices you.
Ah, Vincent. Come, sit.
He'll do his normal greeting with the soleil and then kiss her on the hand.
She reciprocates.
It is nice to have you visit here in my home.
It's a beautiful home.
It is indeed. I'm afraid I must cut straight to the chase, though. Business before pleasure, after all.
Of course, I understand.
I assure you we are in the utmost secrecy here. And then the servant just gives a single nod, turns around, begins to make their way back into the other room. Very large, or very tall half-elf man. Blonde hair pulled back, black everything else. Kind of very, very olive, kind of like darker skin. And as he exits the area, just like a darkness, like a pall begins to pour around throughout the outer area, and a kind of caustic effect from the inside of the aquarium begins to fill the room. And then she says,
I have taken you to be a man of means. A man after my own heart, even. I find that I trust you more than I feel like I should, and that interests me. So I wish to ask for you a favor. Now, for this favor, of course, we can offer you our services, which is, as I'm sure you're aware, incredibly valuable. But not only that, we can offer you a custom piece, as it were. A magic item created just for you. Now that is something that goes for a very high price among the Valentine family. So trust that this is important to me. My little sister, she nods, sorry, yeah. My little sister has been possessed. A spell has been carried out that has been taking my sister's consciousness and transferring it elsewhere. There seems to be some kind of woman by the name of, she pops open the book, says Rausch, who has been overtaking my sister's personality. And we have been trying to figure out what it is that is going on. We have labeled a few people that are implicated within this. One warlock by the name of Schlader Krom. He's been hiding within the dungeon because he knows that we have become onto him and he's not a fan of that.
And you can see her eyes intensify, both in just intensity and color. You almost see like a red be bubbling up underneath the pink irises.
Can I... Obviously, this Slater Krom is the same dude as the Imp's Warlock. The name's the same, right?
Indeed.
Okay. When she mentions his name, he's gonna try to remain flat so she doesn't intel anything. Do you want me to roll a deception?
Your flat deception is 16, yes?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and roll first. You're good.
Okay. And he'll continue listening. I just wanted to add that in.
Now, this is not something I ask of you lightly nor officially, for we are, though many of us unbound, we are still adhering to the rules of the Shandakul family at the Windwalker estate, so this cannot be an official request, nor is it something that can typically go through the dungeon, as assassinations and kidnapping are not something they look upon quite comfortably. But I want the head or the full body of this Schlader Krom, so that we might derive a little bit of the magic that he used to affect my beloved sister.
I understand completely, dear. Do you want me to give me a bit more information about the individual? Maybe what he looks like?
Certainly.
Maybe his temperament?
She pops open her little notebook. Says, he is a coward. Terrified of what might happen. I believe that he is not the mastermind behind all of this, but he is a stepping stone towards the person who actually caused this. He is a very tall man, a first-ranked warlock, Pact of the Chain. He is a somewhat overweight, but still yet muscular. It is a brooding type. It's some skill with enchanting, but it appears that curses also hit within his purview. He's of the Umberley family, and if possible, we need him alive. I can copy all of this information to you as well.
Yeah. Oh, you would like him alive, not just his head.
The head would, as far as I understand, should be able to break the curse, but the full man can just give so much more information.
I understand, dear. Don't worry. Do you know where within the dungeon he resides, or you just know he entered?
He entered into the dungeon. We had sent people in after him. They had followed within the 10 seconds and entered into the same. They had followed him for quite some time, but they were not to procure him yet. That was to be our mission. But we have not heard back from them, and I worry that they failed.
Can I insight check what she meant by within the 10 seconds? Does she mean if you enter with another family within 10 seconds, you go to the same area they are?
You intuit that that is exactly the case.
Cool. Do I need to roll a deception check to hide that?
You default 16. One moment.
Yeah. I don't know if she's like actively rolling insight all the time or if it's just her passive.
This would be passive. She doesn't. I think you have her beat unless she has reason to doubt you.
Cool.
Because she does seem to be trusting of you.
Neat. I think I would love to do this for you, darling. So don't worry. Your proposition is to my liking, and just as you say that you have some sort of affinity towards me, I would not mind doing this for.
We would not ask for you to do this for free, of course. We can, as a show of good faith and of a merging of a new relationship between families, of course, offer you a stand-in, as it were, until we find your particular tastes in your magic item granted. So, if you would come with me, we can discuss in depth.
Sure. He'll stand up, I guess, if she stands up. Just a quick thing, though. Something I brought because I noticed you liked it. More personal. And I know you like to do business before pleasure, but he'll hand over the box of tea to her.
She opens it up, looks at it, closes it, says, "This is a wonderful gift. Thank you very kindly. I see you understand the decorum and protocol as well." She gives you a look up and down and says, "You seem to be every bit the man we expected you to be. May this relationship be fruitful." And she begins to make her way through the darkness around you, begins to lift, and that caustic aquarium lighting kind of just brings itself up to a midday sun, and making passage through and up to the second floor. You enter into a study, a very well-furnished study with tall bookshelves and a large stained glass window. All of the windows in this home have been like stained glass, and it's just this constant diffuse lighting throughout the entire thing. And the two of you begin to discuss more in depth and in detail the nature of this assassination kidnapping and the reward that might come with it.
She said that the family would be able to make Vincent his own custom magic item, right?
Indeed. The Valentine family is a very prolific enchanting family, which, if you guys do well on this mission, you may have access to as an ally. For all of you, of course. But, as we circle through, Are we cool if we skip through the night? Because for the most part, people either work or long rest, especially with that exhausting traversal of the dungeon.
I thought we were all going to meet up at the Black Sheep for drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Drinks!
I don't know how long that'll go, but we can see.
I like to think that we showed up early and you.
Yes.
It's like
You're just
Silva and
standing
JoJo are
outside.
just in the lobby, just like.
Lobby's pretty small. You were probably just like, we're waiting for Vincent, and they probably eyed you up and down like you're not his usual clientele. But to each his own. And then he shows up later, probably in a decently good mood now because he's learned quite a bit. He'll walk in and he'll see you guys. I don't know when Killian. Do you think she would come later or earlier?
Probably a little bit later. Well, I don't think she would be early. She's not going to be paying for transit, so it's just going to be Bladebeak. Like, she's just going to be riding Bladebeak through the city. But I guess it depends on if she gets harried by people along the way, or if she's relatively unaffected and just blasts past everyone, then she'd be able to get there within a reasonable amount of time.
I think in this instance, it's the standard amount of kind of ire that is drawn, but nothing more than just the faint looks of the ignorant.
Okay.
You guys find your way throughout the city, and you congregate within the Black Sheep brothel. Vincent, Good?
I was just saying, he walks in, he probably sees Matilda and JoJo just like sitting in there's like a small lobby area at the front next to with a couple tables that they hand out drinks to while people are waiting. There's probably patrons going in and out. They do a lot of like Q&A questions and stuff, and they bring them off to the side and ask them a bunch of stuff before they can sign up to go to clients. And then you see there's a huge wall with not a giant, but like a double-doored glass windows on it, and it leads up into what you could probably see while you're sitting there, like the big lounge area with it's like the hostess's area. So you guys could have gone in there if you wanted to, but as he comes in, he'll try to locate you, I guess.
I like to think that you and I both sat down in the chairs in the waiting area with books, and we're just like sitting there reading while we wait for Vincent.
Yeah, probably.
I think people immediately latch on and move in and are just like, would you like any drinks to enjoy this lounge atmosphere that you've taken?
Yeah, what do you got?
You see a half-elf man arrives and he just says, well, me, of course. If that interests you.
I think we're just here for drinks tonight.
The tiefling woman approaches and is like, who?
We're waiting for Vincent.
Vincent? Oh, interesting. He's spicier than usual lately, right?
He's, is he? I don't know, we don't, we're part of his family.
Any family of Vincent is a family of ours. They stand and begin to move out towards grabbing drinks.
I turn to JoJo, really confused. Are tieflings particularly spicy when you taste them? What? I'm confused.
I don't quite. It's not like a taste thing. It's like a character thing, I think.
Oh, okay. I understand now.
Paka's here too, and Paka takes note of that.
Hey, Paka.
Paka's like, tiefling's not spicy.
I mean, you could taste, but consent first, buddy.
And now Vincent arrives.
I think Vincent walks in, and you're probably, I don't know if this is a little bit after that, but you're like reading your books again, and he'll just like walk up and just be like, punctual, I like that.
Oh, hey.
Hello, you two.
You're alive. Look at that.
Of course. Did you think it was that easy?
No.
Good. Stop doubting me.
It depends on if they take your ability to use enchantment spells away.
Well, aside from the dungeon, it would be a little bit harder. Plus, he'll tap his chain on his hand. It's a little bit. I have a little bit more in my repertoire now.
Yeah, those are good.
Well, he'll look over and walk over to like the girl at the front there. Who's on deck today? Like, what's her name? Or him?
The person who is currently running the front is Denella. Denela.
Okay. Denella, darling. Do you know if the VIP room is booked?
I don't believe
One
so.
down in the hostess area. Could I take it for like an hour or two?
I don't think Rosa would mind. Not after that gorgeous dress you got her.
Well, maybe if you warm up to me, I'll get you one too. But,
Do I need to be any warmer than this?
Vincent just leans in and gives her a kiss on each cheek. No, darling, I'm just teasing.
She reciprocates and smiles. Hands you the key. In your hand, slipping it during the kisses.
And he'll escort the rest of them in there. Oh, and he'll turn around. There might be a goblin that might stop by later. Send her back there as well. She's gonna have like a big mechanical bird with her. It's gonna be hard to do.
Just a big smile and just like the things that ran through that woman's mind you will never know.
Yeah.
As you make your way back towards the VIP room. I would say, Killian, probably like 10-ish minutes pass and you arrive and you are sent over into the back room as well. As she ushers you in, you see this half-elven woman just like scoop and just like stare at you and look at the bird, and it's just like moving in these fluid fashions. It's like, come this way, this way.
The bird doesn't come with, right? Is there like a place for like not stabling, but just kind of like leaving your like if someone rode a horse here?
There's literally like carriage, horse, carriage,
Bird.
metal bird.
Right.
And then Bladebeak's kind of just stabled up in the side and just sits into some solid fashion.
I've taken to commanding Bladebeak when I'm not there. To just like stay, but defend yourself if you need to.
Slight red.
And then I'll head in.
There's so this area is pretty big. There's like a small there's like incense and curtains and everything all around. There's lots of booths over in the corner, but the VIP booth over there, it's still open. It's not like an enclosed room, but it's far enough removed where you could talk and have conversations without a ton of people hearing you. And it's big. It's just like pillows. Everything's like you'd have to kneel down or sit on the floor kind of style. So he'll lead you guys over and order a round of drinks. He'll do it on himself for the first round.
Oh, how generous. No, I'm kidding.
That'll be for the full group, 6 silver.
Okay. And so I don't know if you guys got up into anything interesting, but no assassinations yet. But we do have a job I'd wish for us to work on. I think it's beneficial to everyone in the family.
What is it?
He'll speak a little bit more quiet and he'll keep an eye out while he's talking, just because he doesn't like to talk about clientele in the open. One of my friends, she offered me sort of a contract to help her out. Her little sister has I guess you could call it somewhat of a curse on her. But that warlock, Slater Crom, he seems to be involved and she wants him.
That seems pretty coincidental.
Sometimes the cards just align. I kind of wanted to get rid of him myself, but if I'm gonna get motivation out of it, it just makes it all that much better.
What does she want him for?
She needs him to remove the curse.
Are we sure this isn't like another elaborate plan to assassinate you?
I don't think so. Not this one. There's different families involved. They would have no benefit for working with Emily. They're friends of Ishtar's and friends of my family here.
Okay.
I think it's beneficial not only for the favors we'd gain, but this needs to be kept under the rug. This isn't... family doesn't really like, assassinations being on the plate for their names.
Does Mo... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We're gonna do the assassination?
Well, we'll find him in the
I thought you
dungeon.
needed him to cast a spell to cure her.
I don't know what Crom is going to do when we find him. He could put up some sort of resistance. She says if we do need to kill him, because he's somewhat of a coward, he will try to kill us. Even a part of him, his head or his body, will work to remove the curse. So they do prefer him alive. That helps Killian. We can bring him in.
I think that'd be preferable.
It's just more difficult.
Is there anything in Mo's contract to not talk about, I guess, this Slater?
He told us his description and everything, but I haven't been able to get that much more out of him. We learned his rank and what family he was from.
Yeah.
I don't know what else more we need. He's still hiding in the dungeon, dear.
Do you think? I mean, Umberly's the family trying to kill you. Do you think the person who was pretending to be Seelan was Slater Crom? I mean, that seems to make the most sense.
It could have been
if we were in
him.
this.
How long
That's the only connection I can think of.
did she say how long he was hiding?
Hmm,
When did this happen?
based on what Mo had said, he had been there for like a
You're
week
right.
or so, I think.
He'd been there. Mo had already been waiting for a week for him, so it couldn't have been him.
Ah, that does break that timeline. Well, it was a good idea anyways, Jojo.
Unless he left and then went back in. He like went in, left Mo there, and then came out and went in with us. And I doubt it.
No, Mo would have known what was up. And he couldn't have lied to me in that instance. I had him particularly persuasive at that moment.
They could have been working in a team where they went ahead and they waited for us on one other floor. But then that doesn't make any sense because from what we understand is that not all the floors lead to the same place all the time, right?
This is true. There is, and he'll lean in a bit more. I was able to divulge some information. Apparently, if you enter with another family, within 10 seconds of the mentoring, you can go with them.
Okay, so basically if you enter together, then you'll go to the same floor.
Essentially, dear.
Which is why fake Seelan was able to
Yeah.
come with us.
Still doesn't explain how they made the ash pond so perfectly.
I wonder where you could use Mo. Well, that could have just been. When I did inspect it, it did say he was level 8, so he might have had magic outside of our current repertoire.
Yeah, but it looked like Lavis's. I don't know. So what exactly is the job? We gotta find this guy?
Basically, find him and bring him back alive, or his body, I guess. in this
I could
case.
probably look into a poison or something that like just makes them go unconscious for a long period of time.
How long do you think that would take, dear?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that yet, so I'd have to get back to you.
Okay.
But I have heard of things like that where they can put people not dead, but they kind of look dead, but they're not dead.
Hmm.
You don't have poisoner's kit proficiency, no?
No, but I do have my poisoner's kit, and I do have a pom-pom.
That is something that you would need to look into, but you're pretty sure that does exist.
Yeah. Matilda's
Well-
more basing it off of stories that she's heard. She probably knows that there's something that can do that.
Okay, well, see if you can figure out in the next 24 hours or so and see how long it would take.
The door bursts open, interrupting you, Vincent. And as you see on the other side, Rosa standing wearing like this just like large pom-pom on her shoulder. It's just like big feather boa. She rushes in and sits down on the couch and just stares at each one of you individually. And she's like, "So this is my new
Hey.
family."
Hi.
Oh, you're telling? Hey, how's
Hi.
it going?
How are you?
Family, this is Rosa.
Oh,
Rosa,
hello, Rosa.
this is Jojo, Matilda, Killian, and the smaller one over there is Paco.
I am your new Rosa. I would say sister, but that's only if that's
your thing. I tell you one thing. Welcome to my home. It is your home as well.
Thanks.
You were all keeping Vincent alive, yes?
He's making it hard on us.
He sits back and puts his arms back. I was barely touched in there, darling.
Yeah, you're
Parker's like,
welcome.
Hello.
It's like, oh my god. He's like a little plush. She like picks up Parker and just places him on her lap. Parker just begins to like kick his feet, and then she places him down. She's like, do you mind if I pick you up? I'm so sorry. He's like,
Yeah, up.
place him back on his lap.
He is very sweet. He does have children though, so
He has a partner in the dungeon.
Oh, that's so adorable.
It's like, she's my blue.
oh, so sweet.
Just
I wanted to
continues
say-
kicking.
I wouldn't say you fucks, but that was very out of character.
Vincent's just gonna look over at her. Do you have any business here, Rosa, aside from greetings?
No, I'm so sorry. I just burst in. I had to. This is the first time that I knew that you were all going to be here, and I thought I just had to see you one at a time. And I've seen you, so if I am interrupting, then I will take Paka and I will go.
Are we done with our business talk? Or we got a thing we got to do tomorrow. We could discuss it more then.
I guess so. That's fine. Rosa, do you mind ordering another round?
Oh, this one's on me. It's a fucking pleasure to meet you all. She places Paka down. He's like, also a bird outside? Nice. And just begins to looks down, gives you all a big smile. And you can see this excitement on her face. She's like, okay, I'll go now.
As Rosa leaves the room, Vincent's gonna lean down and into his, like, I don't know, he's gonna lift it.
Oh, can't hear you.
Oh, he's gonna whisper into it. I was whispering too quietly, guys. And he's gonna send her a message, and it's simply gonna be like, we need to talk later. Make sure you keep an eye out and stay safe, dear. Grandfather came knocking a little bit earlier than I thought.
I think the message you receive back is just in a foreign language that you don't recognize. You hear it both in your head and out loud in the other room. That's just like, it just begins to tear out in the other side, and you can hear her aggressively just in Cyrnan, just screaming out loud as people like rush over and begin to try and comfort her in just this mass frustration. You get like a solid minute of just curse words you don't recognize in your head, and then eventually that dies
Would
down.
Vincent know what these are? I feel like he would know what these curse words
I'm
are.
sure you're generally aware of just like the, yeah, you're good.
Okay.
She's great. How do you guys know each other? What's her deal?
When I started working here when I was quite young, not upstairs anyways, just drinks and hostesses and stuff. The previous Madame Belle, that is her daughter, and we kind of met through her, and we've been pseudo family ever since, in a way.
That's nice.
Yes, she's quite, reliable. If you guys ever get into any issue in this area and you need a safe haven, you can always come to the Black Sheep.
Speaking of family, it seems like one of my broodmates has gone missing. At least people haven't seen him for a while. He doesn't have any of his stuff near his bed. And he did at least do the work that I asked him to do at my shop for a few days, it looks like, but I'm concerned that maybe someone got to him to get to me.
So where should we start looking?
Do you have many enemies, Killian? I know there's this whole talk of, assassinations and stuff, but I feel like that's more of a me issue, and you guys are just getting involved.
I mean, depends on who you ask, really.
Well, I know you're not loved per se because of what you are by some people, but it's not anyone in particular, is it?
Well, the day that I received a message from Lavos, we were in the Joaquin district, and Killig had stolen something,
Hmm.
I didn't know that. We kind of ran away. We got essentially pinched, and then Patience came to our rescue because the letter read something else to her than it did to me. The letter to Lavos, or from Lavos rather. But she took the thing. Killig doesn't have it anymore, but it's entirely possible that something bad's maybe the person probably didn't forgive them.
Is there any possibility he may have just taken his stuff and left for some reason?
I don't think he would. Killig doesn't really do anything. He doesn't have a lot of skills. I mean, he's a good shepherd. At least he was when we were back on the 10th floor. But he hasn't gotten used to the city. If he was gonna go anywhere, I'd say he'd try to do something stupid like enter the dungeon. But I don't think that's possible. He'd just go up the stairs and then come right back.
Yes. Well, I guess we can keep our ears and eyes out. His name is Killig, you said, right?
Killig, yeah.
Well, okay, so the job that you got for us, Vincent, we gotta go back in the dungeon for that.
Mm-hmm.
We look for Killig first and then take on that job. Is there a
Yeah, we
deadline on
can-
that?
We can definitely do that. Thinking back, did Carmina give him a you need to do this ASAP kind of thing, or she just?
No, it's just that this person has been missing. Their scouts kind of went missing, so they want you guys to handle this. But she wasn't and do it now. It was just we trust that you can get this done. Most people understand that these missions that they offer you guys aren't within 3 days, I demand blah blah blah. It's this could be months, right? This is the dungeon.
There is a bit of something that might throw, chink in the chain kind of thing. If we try to go back in the dungeon, there's no guarantee we'll ever get onto the instance of the dungeon that this person's inside of currently.
Yeah.
However, I have a bit of a hypothesis that I'd be willing to test. We bring Mo with us. They are essentially pact bound. So it could be akin to entering with him and might allow us to go into the same floor as him.
We can loudly suggest that we're going, and then maybe someone else's their family will come with us, and maybe we could do an exchange.
We
If,
want
uh,
to be
done,
with
he's hiding.
Umberling's family? Aren't they the people trying to kill Vincent?
Yes.
Why would we
okay.
want to bring in?
I don't think that's optional, unfortunately, Matilda. This needs to be kept under the table.
Okay. That's fine. I was gonna say that it may be Killig. They don't seem to have a very shining personality, and they also seem to be have sticky fingers. So if their stuff wasn't missing, I'd say maybe they stole something and someone took care of it. But do you remember that we heard about the militia? Do you
Yeah.
think he might have left and joined that? Because that seems like from what we've heard, he sounds very angry, and he might look at that as a way to get back.
I mean, I think if anyone from my brood was going to join that militia, it'd be Pod, not Killig.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
We can give
But-
that a look tomorrow anyway. That's in Ilmater's district.
We could take a look for sure.
Mhm.
Killig is more likely to just. I mean, if I was gonna say anything, I'd say he'd just leave and go into the woods or something. But that doesn't make any sense. I don't feel like.
How about we do the job that Lavos wants us to do, and then we go to Killig's place and see what clues we can find. And if we can't find anything there, maybe Joaquin's district.
We should probably go talk to Patience too. She might know something.
That's true.
Yeah. That's a
No
good point.
No point in going looking around if Patience knows where he went. But I understand why you didn't go talk to her right away. When something goes missing, sometimes your emotions take over and you panic and you don't make logical choices, and that's okay. For the most part.
He could have just maybe went on his own. It doesn't always equal a bad thing, so we'll definitely look into it though, Killian. But for the rest of this evening, I say we relax. We've had many things pop up within the day, and coming out of the dungeon, I felt like this was more of a time to, recharge for being in there. It seems like we're just being bombarded from all sides, so.
It's true. You don't get any rest.
Can we
Not when you're bound.
make con checks to see how
Yes.
sloshed we get,
There's
please?
no escaping that. Constitution saving throw, all of you. This will be one check for the evening, as the liquor seems to flow as water within this fine establishment.
I feel like Vincent wouldn't get himself drunk. Can I not?
That's totally fine. It's all intent.
Yeah,
you
it's
take
not
a
that he
single
doesn't
sip
want
and you're like,
to.
oh no.
It's just, assassination on his head. He's being a little bit more cautious.
Matilda's a
than usual.
no shit about her alcohol tolerance, so she's just like, this tastes good, I think.
I did a saving throw. Was it saving throws that we wanted to do?
Saving throw.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, I
shouldn't
didn't
have done
check.
it. I
Hold on.
I shouldn't have done it at disadvantage then. If it was a check, I would have had disadvantage because I'm exhausted. But
So that would be a 15 plus 4 plus 2.
Do
Let's
you
see.
want me to roll a save? I rolled a check. It doesn't change anything.
If it doesn't change anything, that roll's totally fine. So
Okay, cool.
both Killian, you're kind of like just taking in this liquor. However you guys kind of drink throughout the evening. Killian, you end up fresh in the morning, quite sprightly. Jojo, you like the orcish tolerance that you have. Even if you wanted to get hammered, sometimes it's probably pretty difficult. And Matilda, you are just sauced pretty
Partway
early into
dur-
the evening.
Partway during the night, if I notice Matilda being pretty sauced, because like she had like one sip in the dungeon and was like, woo.
that's
So,
true.
I am going
It
to
was
try
very
and
strong and very bad.
message a couple of the girls and see if they can take some advances at her. I just want to see where her what is she like? Because Matilda's someone that Vincent doesn't know
Yeah.
I
very
think-
much of.
One, who do you grab? At current, like, who are available, you have,
Matilda's a
Atisa?
blank slate. He'd probably throw everyone at her if he could.
okay. I think Atisa
Aside
begins.
from Rosa.
That's, ATISSA. As she looks onwards, it's a very kind of like fluidly moving tiefling woman that wears just these constant reds against her bright red skin and her solid yellow sclera that like draws this just attention. But she moves forward and like begins to just scan on like with Vincent on the side and moves in and just like approaches, brings herself down to your eye level and says, "There's a beauty in the darkness behind those eyes. What secrets do you hide?"
Remember, you're drunk.
She's sitting there staring at you briefly, and then you're kind of just like, fuck. As you can see, just like Vincent, a single sweat drop on the side of the head.
Do you mean my pupils? Huh?
The depths of your curiosity entices me. Would you like to find out what I mean? I take good care.
Where are we going?
Upstairs. And she's still being coy and doesn't understand that, like, you need to be literal.
I think Vincent might throw her a bone and send her a message.
Why are we going upstairs? I say it's like very loud. There's still like volume control at this point.
I think she leans in just before the message hits the back of her mind. You say, "Why are we going upstairs?" And she leans in and says, "For any reason you desire."
Hey man, she can't use Vincent words. So he's trained half the women in here, so it's fine.
Book on poisons? That's what I want.
She stands up and turns around towards Vincent. She gives you a look that you would have expected confusion, but she nods and like this just smile, pulls out glasses from her shirt, puts them on, turns around and says, "You have some homework to do." She moves over to the back on this big bookshelf and picks out a book, and then approaches and like tries to link arms to go upstairs.
I like shake
Oh
her
my
arm off and I take the book out and I like try to figure out what the book is.
It's like a random biography. It's like a biography of
No, You can go read that upstairs. I don't want it. It's not a poison book.
She looks back towards Vincent.
He just smirks towards it. Some people got it, dear. Some people don't.
She lost this one. She turns around and leans down towards you. She brings herself down, takes the glasses off, and says, "Would you like to have sex? Or not. We can always just lay together and enjoy each other's warmth or company. I don't have any books on poisons, but I would love your company for the evening."
No.
She stands up and just...
I think you're very lovely. Hold on. Thank you for the offer. I think you're very lovely. Yes. Okay. Did I do it right? I think that's what you're supposed to do. Is that how you say no politely? That's how my mama Mal taught me.
We did a wonderful job, Matilda.
You were taught very well. Your mama Mal has done a good job. And then she goes back over towards Vincent and is like, I really thought
I'm sorry,
I was going
dear.
to
I
win this
gave
one.
you. It's like trying to charm a wall sometimes. It's.
To be fair, I'm fairly
difficult.
certain
It
that
was-
I've done that. I've been pretty sure that I did that once.
Well, you didn't charm this one.
One day. She looks back towards Matilda almost as like a, this is my conquest now.
Oh no.
But she makes her way out. As the evening comes to a head and you all find an evening of fun and just like sultry interest throughout the night at the Black Sheep. Matilda, you have a heinous hangover in the morning, but as you all find your way through the city into the district of Ilmater, the god of martyrdom, you find a very different atmosphere, a very hustle and actually it's not very hustle and bustle, it's very kind of calm and methodical. Everything's moving, very organized. And as you make your way to a small park just to the south of Ilmater's home, the Tier Haven, you enter in the kind of just sparse, dappled, wooded area, stone walls leading up to a open park, and you can see all of the city around you. But as you enter in, there's like tents set up. You see an individual so this blonde man, very like striking individual, very fit, and another blonde woman on his arm, both of them wearing like loose clothing. You see individual pieces of like art utensils that have been set up, large tables. You see big tents, and you see Lavos wearing a apron as he approaches the lot of you and is like, "Right, I'm glad that you all made it.
Hey, what's up?
Utmost importance. Vincent."
You
Oh,
can see
no.
Vincent sent you guys ahead. He stayed back. He shows up. He's got like a satchel on his back, and he drops it. And he's like, "What? I got some stuff over here."
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we good to begin? Everyone's here now.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. We ran late. And he'll start running over to one of the tents. Alexi, did you? Oh, you've already put everything up. Good.
Of course.
Oh, are you guys in cahoots? What the fuck's going on here?
Right, you are. We've
Oh,
fooled
shit.
you all. We've tricked you into accepting and helping out with Vincent's children's charity.
Oh, okay.
You see some kids around in the outer area that are just like just set off at a small corner that were just playing with this one like some kind of a water game off in the corner, and Pakka's just kind of like passing
It's
through
not
the
exactly
area hauling
that,
some stuff.
Lavos. It's purely for the art.
Right, you are.
Fuck the children.
No, it's for the children,
Pull up.
of course. And Vincent will walk over. He's actually wearing some more casual clothes today because he's. I should have warned you guys, but you're going to get pretty dirty today. And he'll pass you all some just a bunch of art supplies: chalks, brush, paint brushes, tubes of paint.
You see,
Okay.
like, Lavos is standing there and is just tearing up, and he's like, "This is so fucking beautiful."
Want me to move this somewhere?
I'm so proud of my family. Brings in, gives you all a big hug, and is like, let's help some people. No, you, hey, Matilda,
stop yelling.
what's wrong with you? Be happy in this moment. Look at this beautiful sunshine.
No.
He's getting used to being around people, dear. Just you got to put up with it sometimes.
Why do I feel so awful?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you come over here? And he'll put her in front of. He set up a completely black canvas for Matilda.
Oh.
Just draw whatever your heart's desires, dear.
Okay.
And all these supplies are paid for and set up. And Vincent will go up to the front with Alexi, and he's going to try and just start talking to him for a bit in the background. You guys are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Killian, this isn't her first rodeo with like kids. There's probably a lot of kids from like families that have trickled in from the 10th floor. So she's immediately going to choose a random assortment of objects and use magical tinkering on them. And what they do is when tapped by a creature, the object will emit a recorded message that can be heard 10 feet away. And that message is just going to be her blowing into her hands to make it sound like someone's farting. And then she's going to just gingerly place them in various locations. And as she does this little bit of mischief, she's just going to get get this
feels
little
so good.
Oh, that feels so good, but it's for a good cause. Yeah, and she's just gonna she's probably not gonna do any art because she doesn't feel art's not really her thing. She's all about does it function, function over form. But she's gonna just spend the entire time goofing off and tricking kids and stuff.
It takes a minute, but as soon as people start to see you place these around, some kids are just you see the astute ones be like, oh yeah, what is this? Immediately following in after you place an item, and just as soon as you're out of earshot, you just hear loudly in the corner, and then kids just be like, as they just run off towards the towards various different tents in the entire area around. See some kids moving in and beginning to look at all of these supplies and rushing around, and those of you can see some children just moving through wearing just burlap clothing. The rack has one of the lowest pillars of society in regards to just the constant caste system that has been bearing down on the people, especially being so close to the Amarantine Palace, which is that's what Amaranth was originally, just a medieval town, right? And then that just kind of seeps out in all various different directions from the palace, which has these old ways. But as these kids just running around, you see just the excitement begins to just bubble up and through in the entire area. Some people begin to move in, some more connoisseurs of the area as well. You see halflings and some genasi and some lots of dwarves and children and adults, all ages, moving in towards this just artistic displays. And as Alexei and this beautiful kind of blonde woman just begin to strip down, getting up onto this stage. Getting up onto this small stage. They strip up? What are they wearing?
Alexei always wears his knightly armor, and she wears a princess dress, so they pose like knight and princess.
Throwing on this just vicious, this, actually it's not, it looks very paladin, as he places this armor upon himself and stands in this just Harlequin novel pose. And the two of them begin to just form this duo, doing various different poses as people begin to take into this just artistic display in the park of Ilmater's district. You see Lavos is set up like a large just seafood fry, and the smoke just pours out into the open air as Lavos is just turning 15 things at once, and Paka shows up and just throws a whole thing of fish, and Lavos just throws it as they all just move perfectly into line, and just some kind of a street vendor display show. What do y'all do?
I know what I do already. Matilda takes off her shoes and socks, puts on an apron, rolls up her sleeves, puts her hair up, puts on her glasses on, like fixes them. She gets out her book. She lays out like math, and she's going to make a calculation in order to make something that's like a fractal and that's symmetrical, because there is art in math. And so she's going to do that, and then she's going to replicate that pattern on her black canvas piece to use her logic in order to create something beautiful.
I think there's just a small group of people who have moved up and are almost taking this as like part of the display and are just watching this occur throughout this pitch black canvas that draws the attention of several people throughout the area. One of these people you recognize. But we'll get back to that in a minute.
Yes.
Killian, you begin to set up these prank areas and just revel in the enjoyment of it all. Jojo, what are you doing at this moment?
Is there chess at this park?
What's that, sorry?
Is there chess at this park?
Like
Like a big chess set that's
there
like,
is
you know,
a
the big
gaming-
oversized chess set?
That's up to you, Vincent.
I was gonna say there is a gaming area. He knows that JoJo enjoys chess and those things, so he definitely would have set up chessboards. I don't think we quite had in the budget to do like a giant chessboard.
What you could do is that if you consulted Matilda with this problem, she would tell you how to mathematically make a chessboard on the grass and paint it properly. And then each person on either side of the board gets to be a piece. So every single child is a piece on the chessboard, and the other team is a piece on the chessboard, and you have to play against each other. And
Oh,
then
that sounds like a lot of setup.
I mean, it could be pretty quick.
I can try and do that.
Vincent just literally calls Paka's name out, and he's like, I need you to take this white brush and I need you to draw. And he'll show him a picture of the chessboard, which is just a square with squares in it. How long do you think this will take?
Oh, that's a lot of squares.
You can do it, Paka, I believe.
12.
Minutes?
Minutes.
Just 12.
And
Okay.
he starts counting to 12. 1,
Oh, he puts it in his tail and just begins to...
And he only really needs one color because the black can be green.
I'm gonna roll a d20. If he gets 16 or above, he finishes in 12. That was a natural 20. He
Whoa!
finishes in like 9 seconds. Full
And it's
tilt
pretty good.
running. It's not pretty good. It looks as though someone ran squares in this open field for 10 seconds. But you do have what amounts to a very crude painted chessboard. As Paka's just like
I did it.
collapses forward.
You're
Yeah.
so good, Paka.
Yeah.
Jojo would need help from someone, just like to arrange people. But you can handle like teaching kids what chess rules are. and
You see
stuff
one
like
kid
that.
on the other side who's just like,
I will destroy you.
Bring it on.
You don't know anything about chess. I am the dragon.
Is this before or after Matilda's art?
that's up to you guys.
Because
Could be
like
after.
okay, Matilda doesn't mind helping you. She'll be on one side and you can be on the other. I think Matilda understands the rules of chess. She's not good at it, but she like understands like the concept of chess.
Roll a dragon chess proficiency, Jojo, in order to battle the king of dragons over here.
King of Dragon.
This like 9-year-old halfling child who's just staring daggers at you.
Come on, be better. It's a 12.
He sits there and he's like,
I thought you might do that move.
within like 4 or 5 moves, he's destroyed. Kid just gets downed pretty much immediately and is
Oh,
like,
good.
A worthy successor of the title.
If it looked like he was gonna beat JoJo, Matilda probably would have like made him trip or something stupid.
He's like,
Was
you
that
you don't even understand the nature of chess. Me tripping has absolutely nothing to do with it.
No, but
Plebeians, every one of you.
if I Eldritch Blast him on a rock and he scrapes his knee, he is 9. He might still cry. So
this is a commoner. He would die.
oh, whoops.
You're just like crackling energy, and you're just like, maybe. Killian, in this moment, what were you doing? I think I cut you off earlier.
No, that's okay. So once the pranks have kind of run their course, if there's the whole bunch of paint and chalk and everything else kind of left over while a bunch of people are playing chess, Killian's just gonna call to the kids that have been getting pranked, and tell them that her bird needs a new paint job.
They see the bird and their
I
eyes
love
flutter to
it.
life, and they're like, "Really?"
Yeah,
way.
my paint job's not very good. And its name is Bladebeak, but don't let that scare you. And she just like grabs the head and like kind of pulls it down, and like rubs the snout, and it just says, "It won't hurt you. It's really nice."
Just like, yeah, that paint job's pretty bad. As they move in, just like take one brush, just like the lot of them begin to just this mad, just colorful tie-dye across Bladebeak, who just sits back and prepares for the next layer. Some like drips over the eye, and Bladebeak just like cleans it off, and I was like slams it in the eye, and it just cleans over and over again. As these kids just go hog wild. And Vincent, what are you doing during all of this?
Vincent goes around. He has two things he usually does during this time. He goes around and he does face painting for the kids and paints a bunch of stuff on their faces. And he also does, the families come over. They're usually not able to ever afford one of these in their life. He'll do sketches of them and their kids together, like a family portrait.
I think everyone who gets together and kind of looks out at this, you also see like one kid's like, I want to be a kitty cat. Can you just make like, but a big one. Make me a big cat, big kitty cat. And then the other kid walks forward, kind of, you see this look of depression on his face, and he pushes that kid aside and he's like, make me a dragon. You begin to draw the portraits of the people, and the parents are just in fucking stitches and tears. And people begin to approach you, having like recognized, and they're just like, this is even more amazing than last year. Thank you so much for doing this. I can't even believe that something like this would. This is amazing. Please, you've made her year.
It's no problem, dear. You can also come during the winter time, right? You wouldn't miss that one.
Of course not. Especially not near the solstice. Vincent, we cannot thank you. Thank you so much. And all of this, and your family, thank you.
Well, they're quite lovely. This is their first year doing this, so I'm hoping they'll, come to more of them in the future.
We can only hope. Well, I will make sure to spread the word of all of this. Community leaders will be aware. Thank you so much.
Of course. Let me know if you guys need anything else in the district. This is usually all I can muster, given my schedule, but...
This is more than enough. Thank you. Kids love it. Look around and you just hear... There's like, well, that one, the kids love it anyway, so...
That's fine. Just for my knowledge, can I roll a painting proficiency check?
Absolutely.
What would I roll for that?
In this case, how are you attempting to portray this art?
The kids, it will be just like colorful and just, trying to... He's not going for something that's like super accurate.
Lisa Frank.
Yeah, and for the art, the family portraits, he's trying to go for just to capture the family. Like,
I would say one of those is wisdom. The capturing the family is wisdom, and the like caricatures with all these vivid colors would be charisma. So a wisdom and a charisma, both with proficiency. And as this celebration and the music therein continues to bellow out into the open air.
That was the kids. Oh, wait, no, that
the
was
wisdom. The wisdom was the family portrait.
Yeah, is the one. But that's the luck of the 2 ones. Vincent's having an off day. I lied. He's a little hungover.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get drunk, is what you said. You already signed a open contract, my friend. You are safe. Moving in Actually, I think it's literally kids like, no, dragons are like this. Never mind, they've already breathed their fire today. Instead, they're using their claws. And he like holds himself, just continually moves, and you're like, I'm drawing everything. You have 5 mouths, 10 claws. And like just as it like moving through and the family portraits all gather together. As someone who is proficient with painter's tools, these are pretty good. Just in the nature of these things, it's not your best work.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Yes.
With 2 natural ones, you have every right to be. As moving in through the evening, or through the morning, as this continues to bear down, Matilda, you spot an individual that is watching you from the shadows. And I say shadows, but it's the middle of the day, so they stand kind of leaned up against a tree, watching you from the corner. a very familiar figure. One whom which you've been sharing communiques via the dungeon's interface office.
Really?
As this woman stands just leaning up against the tree, staring towards you, you manage to make eye contact. This is just before the chess set fiasco of day 45. And as she stares at you, she just kind of slowly begins to round to the other side of the tree.
Oh, no, I don't let that happen.
Cut line of sight. You begin to follow. You make your way up to the side of the tree. And as soon as you encircle, she stares directly towards you.
Ooh. You don't understand the protocol of writing messages back on a message board. You do realize that, right?
Takes her rapier and places it to your throat.
Whoa!
Give me the book. And that is where we will end today's session.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
As we look on towards all of these happenings, thank you all. She's back. I like Matilda's like, nice. I managed to catch you. As we look towards the next episode, thank you all so much for coming to the Dragonleaf, and we can't wait to see you till next time. That makes sense. Excellent.
Yeah. Words.
Bye.
Yeah, precisely. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.